Hi guys, it is Ahimsa here, and yes, it is time for another pick a card reading. And in this pick a card reading, actually, what we're going to be diving into today is what your biggest lesson is in this current phase of your life. This is one of those types of readings that I'm very excited to do because one, it is the first time I'm doing this type of topic on my channel in particular, but also because I feel like, especially when people, or me in general, are going through those types of confusing moments in our lives, we really need some clarity in those times. And I wanted to be able to provide that to you beautiful people, especially if you feel like you are experiencing some sort of turmoil right now where you're at in life. I want to be able to give you some more clarity on what the lesson is there, or what source, spirit, God, whatever you want to call it, is trying to teach you. Or if you don't even believe in any of those things, let's say your higher self. So with that being said, I just wanted to welcome all the new community members that decided to join us on this beautiful journey towards self-discovery, healing, and stepping into our powers, becoming the best version of ourselves. And one of the best ways to do that is, ooh, look at this ash I got on my fingers from the Palo Santo. But one of the ultimate best ways to do that is to combine the things that we cannot see with the things that are science and tangible, factual, etc., and kind of combine them together to get a nice full wheelhouse of knowledge and understanding on how you can step into your power. You can do it in a rational and logical way, but also combining the things that we cannot see, which is, will in reality, just like pick a card readings, it's like astrology, it's like chakra healing, because it's there, right? It's existed for thousands of years. These things were created because they work. I'm gonna emphasize it's because they work. That's why they still exist to this day. So remembering that, keeping that in mind, if you are planning on staying along with the journey and watching the channel grow along, the community grow, I'm just so happy to have you guys on board, because this is my dream, this is my passion. I just want to help you guys grow and succeed at anything that you're trying to go accomplish for yourself in life. And the best way to really do that is to help you start from the bottom and work your way up the top. As a facilitator for deep healing, I feel like it is my job, it is my life's mission to be able to help you heal yourself from the inside out. So I feel like the best step to do that today is with this pick a card reading, and let's get into it. All right, how I normally love to set up my videos is I love to set up or show you guys in real time how I organize the piles for you guys to pick from. If you guys would like to skip this part, you are completely welcome to. Obviously, that's why I have time frames in those chapters set up in my videos. But if you are here and staying along for the ride, just know I will do a little time lapse just so it doesn't take forever, because it can take time, these things take time. But if this is something that you do not want to check out, I highly recommend, before you even end up selecting a pile for you to do this reading for yourself, take a moment to debrief, center yourself, and ground yourself in the guided meditation that I provide in this next part of the video. All right, my loves? So with that being said, let's get into this, all right? Welcome to the grounding and centering portion of today's reading. Before you choose the pile that you're most drawn towards, let's take a moment to ground and center ourselves. Close your eyes if you can, and take a deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs completely, holding it for a moment at the top, and then slowly exhale through your mouth, releasing any tension or stress you may be holding on to. Feel your body relaxing with each breath. Imagine roots extending from the soles of your feet deep into the earth, anchoring you securely to the ground.
Feel the stability and support of the earth beneath you. As you breathe in, visualize a warm, golden light entering through the top of your head, filling your entire body with a sense of calm and peace. This light grounds you, centers you, and connects you to your inner wisdom. In a moment, I will play some tuning fork frequencies to help deepen your relaxation and enhance your connection to your intuition. Simply listen to the sounds and allow them to wash over you, bringing you further into a state of peace and centeredness. Keeping that centered and grounded energy, allow it to guide you as you select the pile you feel most drawn towards. Trust your intuition and let it lead you to the message you need to hear today. Thank you for taking this moment to ground and center yourself. Now, let's begin the reading.
Hi, beautiful souls. Here is the next part of this video where we are about to reveal the exact significator card for each pile you get to choose from so you can find out what is the biggest lesson that you are meant to learn in this phase of your life. So with pile number 1, we have the 6th house with routine. For pile number 2, we have the Grand Cross with Provoker. This is very interesting. For pile number 3, we have the Moon, Soul. And for pile number 4, we have Mars with Force. All right, my loves, so give yourselves a moment to take a look at this imagery here. If you were able to listen to that guided meditation, welcome, and give yourselves a moment to ask yourself, what pile are you drawn most towards in this time that is going to help you see the exact biggest lesson that you are meant to learn in this phase of your life? You can pause the video here. I'm going to give you guys a moment to select it. All right, my loves, and if you guys got a chance to select your pile, I'll meet you in the next part of the video, okay? Bye. Hi, pile number 1, and welcome to your reading. This is Ahimsa here, and I am so excited to dive into this topic with you. Ignore my ashy fingers, it is that Palo Santo. In today's reading, I had an idea on doing something a little bit different than my regular videos that I typically do when it comes to pick a cards. It's because of the topic in general that we're doing today. It has to do on what is the biggest lesson that you are meant to learn in this phase of your life. And so I felt very called to use my karma cards here. Each pile says a different thing. So we got planets, signs, and houses. This is what's really going to help us get even further clarity along with your oracle cards before we even move into your tarot. So what we're going to do in order to begin, we need to have this in exact order with planets first, signs second, and houses third. With that being said, I'm gonna shuffle first the planets and see what wants to come out. If more than one card comes out in each pile here, I'm going to definitely take it. I'm gonna give us different interpretations of the lesson that you are meant to learn in this phase of your life. All right, my loves. And when it comes to phase, I didn't want to put a time frame on it because I know everyone is going through a very different thing in their life at this time. I want you to apply it into your life circumstances, into what feels fit for you in that moment. So maybe for you, this phase can mean like the next 3 months of your life, or maybe you're going through a really big struggle and there's an unknown in terms of how long that struggle is going to last. So I want you to apply the word or the term phase into what feels fit for you, depending on your circumstances, depending on what you're experiencing right now. So let us see, what is pile number 1's biggest lesson in this phase of their life right now? Okay, this one's peeking, and I think it's just that one. We're gonna get from signs, what is pile number 1's biggest lesson that they're, oh, thank you. That was easy. And then we're just gonna place those. And then for houses, what is pile number 1's biggest lesson that they are meant to learn in this phase of their life? Thank you. All right. So I guess you guys actually got one of each pile, which just makes reading a lot more easier for me, and I get more straight to the point. So that's great. With that being said, we're gonna keep your significator card that allowed you to help you choose your pile, the 6th house with routine, right over here. And if you guys can't tell, I actually had a crystal here right in front of the candle, which is obsidian, a piece of obsidian, and I felt super, super called to bring my obsidian crystal out here for this reading topic in particular, because obsidian is a crystal that has a lot, or a mineral that has a lot to do with helping you get into the deep, uncomfortable things, the darker stuff, the things that really should be revealed. It's like the Tower card in tarot, at least that's how I feel obsidian's energy to be like. That's how I experience its energy, but it really helps you just get cutthroat with yourself on like what you need to hear in this moment. And I feel like this is the perfect crystal to have out for this topic in particular. All right, we are going to begin by looking at the karma cards first, and then we're gonna look at your oracle cards next, and then tarot. Let's get into it. With planet, we have the south node. So as you can see, the red colors and the words mean the action answer, and then the blue colors means the outcome answer. With this being the case, with the question I had in mind, what is the biggest life lesson? I believe that this has to do with the blue. So we are going to look at the blue. You can ignore the red, all right? So we have the south node, and we're gonna read the phrase all together straight down. Hopefully this is starting to be like, oh, I understand why she really likes this deck. And then we have Aries, and then S stands for spiritual outcome, mental outcome is M, P is for physical outcome, all right? So keeping that in mind. And then with the house card, you got the first house. So when you put it all together, you have The South Node in Aries in the first house. See, it's really, really cool. I really like this. I think it's really cool, especially if you're an astrology junkie like me. Where it says the spiritual outcome, it says there will not be energies to meet the challenge of who you are. There will not be energies to meet the challenge of who you are. Sorry, I'm just sitting with that response that I'm seeing here with the biggest, I'm trying to apply it into your answer. The biggest lesson. Okay, this actually has a lot to do with the 6th house card that you got, but I'm gonna save my thoughts for the end, so let's just continue down. So for the mental outcome, anxiety about your desires regarding your desires. That's funny. Anxiety about your desires regarding your desires. So you're an overthinker. Welcome to the club. And for the physical outcome, trouble resulting from the honesty and strength of your actions. Okay, see, this literally applies to exactly what the 6th house stands for in astrology. And hopefully, again, any astrology junkies out there listening to this, you guys know exactly how this applies. But you're definitely feeling right now that where you're at in life is not where you should be, and I'm putting that in quotes, I'm doing this, and where you should be, quote, I'm quoting that, where you should be, because you might feel as if the actions that you're doing in your life aren't necessarily taking you to the outcome at which you want to attain. And so it's a little bit frustrating for you. You might be feeling a little bit confused in terms of like how to reshift your actions to get your desired outcome in life, especially at this phase in your life right now, pile number 1. I am happy seeing here, I can tell that you are trying to do that reflecting with yourself right now. Wherever you are in life, pile number 1, I am seeing that you are trying to really ask yourself, like, what am I doing? Is it me? Like, you're asking yourself, is it me that's causing this delay or this blockage in my life right now that's keeping me from being where I want to be? So we're gonna move your karma cards. Actually, I think I'm actually gonna do this. We're gonna place these in the middle up here, and then I'm gonna be able to place your tarot cards on top of the red, so we just focus on the blue for the remainder of your reading. Now with your oracle cards, pile number 1, for the chakras, we have perseverance. Ooh, I already like where this is going with the sacral chakra ruling this card. There's a lack of, it's not even a lack of, you have a lot of passion for this thing that you want. You're very passionate or determined, but there's a lack of, I was gonna say willpower originally, but I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. If that aligns with you, great, but I wanna see what the rest of the cards have to say before I really dive into my thought that's coming up right now. Next up, you have bittersweet with the throat chakra. You are being like really honest with yourself right now. I applaud you, pile number 1. That's hard to do. That is hard to do, okay? And for the last chakra card, we have solar plexus with prayer. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. That's the first thing that came up. And you know what's really interesting here, actually? I never noticed this. I don't think I've ever actually gotten this card out when I've had this deck for years, guys. And pile number 1, I've never gotten this card out for my own personal readings or the readings that I've done for others. So feel special. All right, pile number 1, because this card came out for you. And what's really interesting about this imagery is, if you can tell, there's an opening here as if it's like a choices or dreams, but there's a split in the middle where it shows you like the nature, one way of living. I think I see the countryside out in the distance. I don't know if you can see that red little barn, and then like the crops. And then you see the city life. 2 very different ways of living, but they're there. Are you living one of these lives right now, but you're seeking or yearning for the other way of living? When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. You have an opportunity, but you're not taking it because there's a lack of something. But you know that. You know that. I'm so interested in you guys right now, pile number 1, because I'm hearing that some of you guys are in a good financial position with what you're doing. And it gives you guys an opportunity to go do something else, but then it's like, but it took me so hard to get to where I am now. Why? I don't know. That might not resonate with everyone, because that was a very specific message, by the way, okay? But with the last card in terms of oracle cards you guys got was the Sacred Destiny card, or deck, which is blessings. Yeah, you guys have an opportunity. There's an opportunity here. And what's so funny is the one solar plexus card you guys got, I heard in my head, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And then the blessings, the bird is yellow. And I just find the symbolism there, guys, is so beautiful. And not only that, but the pink. So in the heart chakra is depicted, to some people it's seen as the color pink or green. The fact that there is pink and green, and then the bird itself is yellow, it's about taking action for your dreams, the things that your heart aligns with most. There is a real thing that you are really wanting right now. And I think when it comes to this lesson in this phase of your life that you are meant to learn, is how to get there and do it in a way that's balanced or something like that. At least that's what I'm seeing as of right now, pile number one, but I really feel like the tarot cards are really gonna give us more answers with this. So I'm very, very, very interested in your pile right now, because this seems like a very straightforward and direct message. I'm so happy I used this karma deck, guys. I'm like, oh my God, like this helped so much. But the fact that everything is aligned with the 6th house, your significator card, guys, if your jaw dropped just as much as I have goosebumps shooting up my arms right now, like, I feel you, because if I were you listening to this, that's kind of cool. Let's get into your tarot cards now, and let's kind of put everything together, all right? We are gonna take a look and see exactly what is pile number one's lesson that they are meant to learn in this phase of their life. What is pile number one's biggest lesson at this phase of their life that they are meant to learn? What is pile number one's biggest lesson in this phase of their life that they are meant to learn? My jaw is dropping right now, pile number one, for you guys, because if you happen to own this deck that created this imagery, this artwork, the Astro cards, the Black Moon Astrology cards deck, the ruling tarot card of this card in the deck, pile number one, is in fact the 7 of Pentacles. The fact that this is the one card that fell out upright or facing up. I can't talk today, guys, my bad. I think it's because you're indecisive, so I'm messing up my words, being indecisive about my words, because I'm channeling your energy. The fact that these two cards came out together is a huge emphasis here. Pile number one, this is such a straightforward message from source. So I feel like this is something that you've definitely been struggling with internally. Like you've been really, really, really stressed out about it. And your guides are finally giving you a message. If you have been asking for like a sign, like please give me a sign or like a message, I don't know, I'm hearing some of you guys were like asking for it. Maybe nonchalantly like hoped for it in your head, or you randomly were desperate just one time. I'm hearing it was one time, and you've been kind of waiting for a sign. I am seeing that this reading is a huge confirmation that your guides are about to tell you the secret ingredient, I guess, when it comes to figuring out how to solve this situation dilemma that you're experiencing right now when it comes to everything that we're going to dive into. The fact that these two cards came out, I'm just in shock right now. I feel like source is really connected to us, especially in this reading. It just feels so beautiful. I feel so blessed to get to give you this reading. So I'm just, for a second, taking a moment to pause, sending you guys so much unconditional love. This is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And we did happen to get another significator card popping out on its own while I was shuffling. With the significator card here, we have the 8 of Wands. All right. Just to clarify, we're going to place the two significator cards, 7 of Pentacles and the 8 of Wands, right here. Perfect. And these are all the cards we got for you that we're going to dive into when it comes to the biggest lesson that you are meant to learn at this phase of your life. With the back of the deck energy being the Queen of Pentacles, again, this aligns exactly with this entire message that I'm seeing so far, as the Queen of Pentacles is the queen that created a life of her own making. She's the one that wished upon it. She's the one that started from the bottom and worked her way up the top slowly, steadily, consistently, and persevered and made something beautiful come true. So you have a lot of potential and power in you. And like I said, that's why I had that weird channeled message earlier. I wasn't sure if it was going to resonate with everyone listening to this reading, that I feel like some of you guys listening to this have a good job, at least financially, like where you're at in life isn't bad. Maybe some of you guys I'm also hearing are married and you might be like a housewife, very specific, or a stay-at-home dad or a stay-at-home mom. There's a lot of different things coming through, because remember, this is a general reading for thousands of people watching, right? But with this, I am seeing that some of you guys listening to this, pile number one, are in a decently good financial position. If you wanted to do this now, you could. but it's just a matter of, do I really want it, or like not being sure about putting all your cards on the table for it yet. There's something weird here about, I don't know, like it just feels like there's an uneasy, I'm feeling like my gut churning internally. Like I'm getting a little nauseous. I don't know if you guys are having some stomach issues right now or dealing with something like that, or maybe you deal with IBS or something to do with like constipation. I'm sorry, this is like a lot of too much information, but I'm just channeling, I'm just sharing what I'm feeling right now. All right, so just take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But I'm gonna leave that back of the deck energy right here. I'm like so proud of the way I set up this camera, because this is the first time I'm finally starting to learn how to set up everything perfectly. So I'm so happy that you guys can read everything, see everything. It's beautiful. Let's go. Okay. There's no right or wrong way that I'm going to set up the cards. I kind of allow Source to tell me what cards goes next. So this is how we're going to do it, all right? So for the first card, you have the Lovers. Oh my God. Guys, it's a decision. It's a decision. 1 and 2. It is a decision. You are torn right now. You don't know what you want to do, but you want to follow your heart, but you're like, financially I'm good. Should I really do this? Should I really risk it for the biscuit? Oh my God. I'm sorry, I'm just so happy with how everything is aligning. Okay. All right, so first card is the Lovers. Second card we have here is the Five of Cups. Very confused, not sure what to do. Like I said, it feels like you are in a good spot, but it doesn't, you're not happy. Like, you're in a good spot. I don't know if it has to do with like materialistically, physically. Maybe you're in a position where you don't have to pay for too many things right now, so you do have some extra time on your hands to not need to worry too much about I don't know what it is, guys, pile number 1, but you guys know what I'm talking about if it's popping up so much here, right? But you're not, it's not, whatever you are though is not emotionally fulfilling. You're lacking the emotional aspect of the passion in your life, right? And so it doesn't feel like, it just feels like there's a lack of wonderment and I'm trying to think of the right words, pile number 1, but it's like a lack of optimism. I don't know if you have a type of job that it's kind of stressful, or maybe you deal with people you don't normally like. I don't know if that has to do with coworkers or customers. I don't know if it has to do with a boss you don't like, or it's just a job you don't like in general. Maybe you just did it because you know it gives you good money, or maybe just where you're at is fulfilling, but you know for your own personal self-growth, it isn't fulfilling enough. There's a lot of different ways or routes that this reading can go, okay, pile number 1. So just bear with me as I'm trying to make sure that I do channel every single possible thing that I'm seeing here to help as many people as possible listening to this, okay? Sending you guys so much love and thank you for your patience. But next card, we have the 10 of Cups. Emotional fulfillment, exactly. Next up, the Tower. Next up, we have Temperance. I love what I'm seeing so far, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut and we're going to continue and then put everything together after. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how I want this to look, because I want you guys to see and it makes sense. Next up, we have the Devil. Okay, wow, there's a lot more messages like shooting through right now. Pile number 1. So if anything of what I shared did not resonate with you, don't worry, because there is a lot more stuff shooting through right now, like getting downloaded, and it will probably resonate the next things I'm about to share if these things didn't resonate already, okay? Next up, for the first row, we have the Knight of Pentacles to end it. So this is where you are currently at in life in terms of what you're struggling with. And I feel that these next 7 cards are going to help you figure out how to apply it, or the lesson here, specifically how to apply this lesson into your life. But this is showing me in terms of what the lesson is and why it is the lesson. And what I'm seeing here, pile number 1, is actually very interesting. So a couple of things that actually came through while I was putting your cards out and laying them out here for you guys to see is there was a couple channeled things. So I'm actually noticing that some of you guys watching this, pile number 1, it could be that you are currently trying to apply following your dreams into where you're at in life, and you're having some trouble figuring out how to properly do it. So that's one. Second thing that I'm also feeling here in terms of whoever is watching this is there's this energy of like, should I follow my heart or should I follow my mind? And here's the interesting thing here. If that is something that you are currently struggling with when it comes to this dilemma that you're facing right now, it feels as if your guides really want to let you know that they're the same thing. It's not about choosing one or the other. At the end of the day, you just want yourself to be happy. I'm seeing here is that you're worried, yes, like you're worried about making the wrong choice here, you're worried about making the wrong decision. There's some sort of uncertainty or this back and forth that's going on right now. But it's that you're seeing everything wrong. In reality, you do just care so much about yourself, and you know you had to fight tooth and nail to be where you're at right now in life. You are meant to do so much more. And your mind, if it's kind of battling against the heart or feels that way, it feels like there's a little bit of a tug of war going on. The only reason why that is the case right now, pile number one, is just because your mind is used to what is the norm as of right now in your current reality. And your heart knows though that this current reality, it did its part for you, and now it's time to start exploring or maybe even expanding your comfort zone a little bit or little by little right now, because you are meant to embody this Queen of Pentacles energy. Whether you are a male or female or identify as both watching this right now, pile number one, there's this energy or essence of Queen of Pentacles that embodies, she does embody this energy of living in her own world of her own making. There's this energy of having grace or having stability, very good financial stability in your life, but doing it in a way where they're still nurturing yourself and nurturing your heart's true desires on the sidelines, or doing those two things simultaneously, being able to have a prosperous reality, but also being able to have a prosperous and passionate life that is aligned with the things that make you the most happy or the most emotionally fulfilled. And what I'm seeing here when it comes to the biggest lesson is you learning how to embody both of those things, learning that you can have both the money and you can have both the emotional fulfillment, and you can bring those two things together. It's just a matter of figuring out how, right? And I guess that's why you're kind of here. Maybe that's why you're still listening, right? Pile number one. So when it comes to this energy, pile number one, I am seeing that wherever you are at in life, right? I kind of shared with you all the different areas or situations you might be experiencing right now. I am seeing wherever you are at, there is this energy, like I said, about the head, the mind, and the heart kind of being a little bit torn, even though they do work together. And maybe you're kind of forgetting that. Maybe you're forgetting that they both are in the body. They both are in this one unit, this one entity that where your one soul belongs in. So they are meant to work together. And if it feels like they're battling each other, it's just because maybe the heart is ready to ascend and it's trying to kind of pull the mind out of its comfort zone, and the mind only gets scared because the brain has that survival mechanism inside it. If you guys didn't watch my Mastering Manifestation series, highly recommend, because then you're going to know what I'm talking about when it comes to applying science here and understanding why there's a little bit of a fear, hesitancy on leveling yourself up right now. Because when it comes to the biggest lesson, you are capable of doing all of this. Why do you think you are where you are today? It's because you worked, excuse my language, your ass off to get there. You worked your ass off, whether it had to do with working your ass off to get to a certain position, whether it has to do with working your ass off to heal or work on yourself to find the right person to settle down with that can provide you this financial security right now, or working hard to be honest with yourself and figuring out where this passion really lied. Regardless of that, Source has given you a beautiful opportunity here to start kind of embarking on this journey. And the lesson behind this is learning that you can have both. And it's about applying that. It's about taking action and starting applying it little by little. And that's the solution to the situation, where you have to learn how to not let those self-limiting beliefs hold you back from doing those little by little steps. Because at the end of the day, I am hearing here, pile number one, that if this is something that you have tried doing once and it didn't work out the first time, it's because you rushed through it too fast. Like you were doing it with unrealistic expectations, and your guides are saying like this time, start off slow, take it step by step. Be patient with yourself, because I am feeling that wherever you are, pile number 1 in life, this is something that's very, 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 very ridiculously important to you. And in order to really get it, you do need to start that journey. And you got to start it somewhere, right? There's no right or wrong area to be at in life to start following your dreams or to start pursuing this pathway, because there is a big, 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 big desire here, but your guides feel like something may have happened where you doubted it, and now they're saying like that's where the lesson lied. They wanted to show you that there's a need for courage, and there's a need to persevere when those kind of things that you don't plan for come up, because they're going to come up regardless. Those are the inevitable unknowns in life. If we were able to kind of foresee our future countlessly, endlessly, what is the point of being alive right now? What is the point of experiencing this thing we called the human experience, right? There's no reason to, if we already knew where it's going to lead us. But that's where the beauty lies. That's where our emotions lie. And this experience is one of a kind and unique and solely tailored to you, my love. But it's about being willing to tell yourself, okay, but I am capable of this, and I am taking the right steps forward. And even if it's not exactly where I am right now, it's about the consistency. And I think this is where we go into your significator card and apply this into the energy, because the slow and steady is what wins the race. It doesn't matter about how many steps you take each day, whether it's one, whether it's half of a step, as long as you are being consistent and you're showing up and you're showing the universe that this is how bad you want this outcome for yourself. That's what matters. As long as you continue to embody it, as long as you continue to keep going forward towards it, that is what manifesting is really all about, all right? And I need you guys to start saying, I am capable of this emotional fulfillment that I seek. Whether it is a goal, whether it is a passion, whether it is love, whatever this is, pile number 1, you are capable of it, and it is going to come to you, but it's only going to come to you if you continue to work towards it slowly and steadily. And I'm also hearing that this could even be like a deep healing journey that you're starting and you're ready to start for yourself. This can be applied to a lot of different situations, okay? So again, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But with that being said, pile number 1, we are going to look into the last final 7 cards we got out for you, and we're gonna put them under the first row and just kind of see what else this message has to tell us in terms of what this biggest lesson is in this phase of your life, but also how to apply it and what you can do to kind of overcome it. So for the next card, we have the Sun card. Following your dreams. I love how these 2 cards are together. I'm going to put this up a little bit because I want to make sure you guys can see your cards. Next up, we have Judgment. Yes. You know that you need to keep pushing forward. I feel like this is something that you already know inside you. This is something that you got to go start for yourself, whether you are in the middle of this journey or whether you are deciding on starting it now. Pile number 1, the call. This is your call to take action. Consistency is key here. Consistency is key. Next up, we have the Hierophant. Oh my God, the amount of major arcana cards, pile number 1, that you're getting out one by one. And the fact that this is kind of like the next row that I'm revealing here is the guided message on how to kind of tackle this lesson so you can really overcome it or apply it into your life. The fact that you're getting major arcana after major arcana, this is such a big part in your life. Like, I don't know where you are in terms of the phase that you're experiencing right now, but it's, from what I'm seeing so far, or what I'm feeling internally, the fact that all these cards aligned with the significator card 6th house of routine, it's all showing me how important this time of your life really is. Like, yes, this is going to help you overcome this struggle, but not only that, it's a lot deeper than that, pile number 1. I feel like you learning how to persevere through the hard times is what's going to help you in every other area of your life. I don't know if you've been struggling in terms of love life. I don't know if you've been struggling with health, but this is really teaching you healthy habits that you're going to be able to start applying, or it's going to start kind of seeping out into different facets of your life as a whole and kind of make you a nice, well-rounded person at the end of the day. So it's about keeping that in mind and moving forward. But we got the Hierophant. Yeah, you are meant to. The fact that these 2 cards are right on top of each other, pile number 1, you're destined to have emotional fulfillment in this lifetime. And I'm gonna repeat that because this is important. I need you to hear this. You are destined to have emotional fulfillment in this lifetime. Getting frustrated about it, I'm calling out anyone who gets frustrated. Getting frustrated about it isn't going to fix the problem though. It's about being proactive, taking the necessary steps forward to go get it though. Because that's where your opportunity lies. I said you have an opportunity here. The bird isn't flying. It is sitting and it is thinking about going to go for a fly. You are the bird. You got to go take flight now. But it's your legs. Like, you know what I mean? You control those things. You have the free will to say, okay, I'll do it, or nah, I don't want to do it. That's all onto you. Source gave you a beautiful opportunity. Whether or not you want to see it though, depending on the situation that you're experiencing right now, is on you. It's up to you to decide that for yourself, my love. And I know this can be kind of bittersweet, hence here, right? But it's there and it's trying to push you. It's trying to push you to be stronger. As hard as it might feel to accept or acknowledge that this is a beautiful lesson, because maybe it doesn't feel beautiful. Maybe this feels like really, really shitty. Maybe this is very frustrating for you. Maybe this has been something you've been struggling with for a while. But here's the thing. Pile number one, I'm not here to hurt your feelings. I'm not here to make you mad. I'm just here to share with you what Source is trying to tell you in terms of this biggest lesson. And I find this to be a blessing. I find this to be something to be grateful for, that, oh my God, yes, I have the answers now. Give yourself some more peace of mind, at least, to reassure yourself that all this stuff isn't coming up to hurt you. All this stuff is coming up to show you how powerful you truly are, what you're really capable of, and what you're really made of. See the universe here trying to challenge you to step up to the plate, to go fulfill your true desires in life. Because I do see a lot of manifesting energy here. Six of Swords. Yeah, you do have a big chance here to move to calmer waters. The fact that I'm gonna slide these cards up, okay? So you guys can see the reading itself. The fact that, pile number one, you got the Tower card and then underneath it is the Six of Swords. This is no coincidence. That's the one thing I want to say. And secondly, the next thing I want to say about this is that it's showing me where you're at and where you could be if you apply this lesson. The beauty here, the dichotomy here, pile number one, is that the Tower card is very uncomfortable. You know, it's ruthless when it comes to showing you the truth. And the Six of Swords is about going through a really stressful, struggling situation, but moving to calmer waters, transitioning to getting to a more peaceful state of mind or a calmer area in life. And you have a lot of potential to get there, but it's about taking those steps and moving forward. Having the resilience to keep pushing forward. Even if that outcome wasn't given to you as quickly as you would have wanted it, because maybe you're just being impatient, because we did get the Temperance card. Patience is very key here, especially in this phase that you're going through in this current part of your life. Next up, we have the Five of Swords. Yeah. Okay, now I understand. You guys are super frustrated. Maybe even some of the things I said earlier was very triggering to hear, because from the fact that we got Temperance up here and then we have five, your guides are basically saying the way to apply this lesson is to stop giving up. You're giving up too early, or you're letting go of the idea of attaining this dream for yourself too soon. When in fact, the things that matter most, or the things that are really worth it in life, take freaking time. And here's the thing, pile number one, I want you to know that I had to go through this the hard way, and it was very not fun. And so I want you to know that I did actually try to start a YouTube channel. Like, this is a personal thing, but just so you guys understand like the meaning of what's being said here, I did try to start a YouTube channel like over a year ago, and it didn't end the best because I only did one video, right? And I expected it to blow up. It didn't, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'm not good enough, and I stopped. Or maybe I even used I can't talk. Maybe I even used it not blowing up as an excuse for me to stop working hard towards my goals, because I felt there was a lack of energy, a lack of vitality within me to keep pushing forward. There was a lack of willpower. But then that's where you gotta ask yourself, pile number one, is there some sort of internalized blockage that is holding me back to be able to unlock the full potential? Because the perseverance came card came up for a reason, pile number one. You are an inner warrior. You have the soul, the spirit of a warrior, but it's only if you let that warrior shine. And there needs to be a warrior in order to get to where you want to be right now, especially moving through this current phase in your life. The last two cards we have here, pile number one, is the Nine of, yes, oh my God. The fact that we got the Nine of Wands here. This is the card that speaks, it screams resilience, you know? And this, I just want you to know, with the Devil card, overcoming any type of self-limiting belief is very tricky. It is not a fun thing to experience. But with that though, it doesn't mean that it is impossible. Nothing is impossible unless you believe it is impossible. If you think that this is who you are, then that's who you're gonna be forever. But if you think, even consider the fact, the idea, the concept that there is potential for you to be something else, there is potential for you to break out of this box maybe you put yourself in, or the world has put you in, people around you have put you in, then it is possible. But it's only if it starts within you. I can give you as many similar messages as possible, but it's only if you start embracing that potential idea or the possibility that there is potential here for you to go do it for yourself, or for you to go accomplish these things, or whatever this may be when it comes to this phase in your life, because you are able to get through this and be victorious with it, pile number one, but it's only if you believe in it, and it's only if you embody this lesson that you're meant to learn in this phase, or else the phase won't stop. And last but not least, we have the Emperor. Wow. This, I'm smiling so hard, you guys can't see it, but I literally want to cry, because the way that this reading is ending with the Emperor, I have goosebumps. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the concept of divine feminine and masculine energy. I also like to call them yin and yang. I do plan on making a mini series on these things because we all embody a little bit of yin, which is what it's pronounced. It's, people call it yin and yang, but I learned from a Buddhist practitioner that it's actually pronounced yin and yang. So yin and yang energy, yin being divine feminine and yang being divine masculine, or you can even call it yin being divine feminine or moon energy, and yang being divine masculine or sun-based energy. We have a little bit of both within us, right? What I'm seeing here, the fact that I got goosebumps shooting up my right arm, I see that as your divine masculine, your masculine energy, your sun energy, your yang energy coming up here to show that there is a little bit of lack of inner fire right now. And we got to figure out what keeps diminishing that fire, distinguishing that fire, or fire extinguisher. Yeah, we got to keep figuring out what is extinguishing that fire, because it keeps trying to, like, it's like when you have a lighter and it doesn't want to, the fire doesn't want to come up because there's not enough lighter fluid. Like, what is going on? Is it the people around you? Is it your surroundings? Or is it just you? Because you are a true born leader. You can make it happen, pile number one. Whatever this is, even if it's not you trying to go attain something, if this is you trying to just persevere through this current phase and you don't know when it's actually going to end, it will end a lot sooner than you think if you keep maintaining that locus of internal control, that you can control this if you just keep putting the effort in it. Because it is possible. It's just, are you willing to do it? And that's a big question that I feel like I need you guys to be left with in this reading, because this was such a straightforward answer. And the life lesson is here in terms of this phase of your life. I was able to read that so specific and straightforward to you guys. I even showed you how you can apply it. It's up to you on whether or not you're willing to take the advice, because you do have a big choice to make. And this choice is going to impact the rest of your fate, I guess, moving forward. I'm not a big fan of the word fate, but I mean, like, every decision you make in life or every action you decide to take, because you have free will, it shifts what the future is going to show you. There's 1,000 different possibilities to get to a certain angle, but it depends on the different steps you choose to take to get there. So it's up to you to make this decision, and depending on that step, it's going to change everything for you. You are strong enough to overcome all of it, but you're afraid. You think that you're not. There's a lot of self-limiting belief here that needs to be uncovered and for you to work on, pile number one. Because that is really the key, the biggest key actually, from what I'm seeing here, that's going to help you be able to start taking those necessary steps forward. Honestly, if you haven't even started a healing journey within yourself and you tried to do something along these lines of everything we talked about and it didn't work out the first time, it's because there was a lack of going inside yourself before you started going outside of yourself. Maybe you're so focused on trying to go attain, accomplish, go do this, go do that. Can't stop, won't stop mentality. And you never really gave yourself an opportunity in life to go within, or maybe you tried and it didn't work out. But what I'm hearing here is that you didn't take enough time to go inside yourself, to do that introspecting work. I'm sorry if there's a little bit of a light glare, by the way, but so that you can really pinpoint why you feel like you're not embodying this Emperor energy already. There's a little bit of a lack of proper structuring in your life. And what I mean by this, like if you work in a business, like you have your own like routine, that's different. But what I'm saying is like in terms of structure, pile number one, I mean structure can be like a routine that doesn't have to do anything with work. And maybe it has to do with you wanting to wake up early, go to the gym, brush your teeth, and then have lemon water in the morning and have your breakfast and then do a little gratitude journaling and then going to work, or planning your out. Like there's so many different ways that we can implement, like even sprinkle self-care into our day so that there is a sense of emotional fulfillment regardless of the job that we have, because our jobs do not define us. Our career or where we're at in life, whatever gives us financial security in life, does not define who we are. What defines who we are is what we choose to let define us, period. Okay, so it's about you asking yourself, am I more than this? Because I know you are so much more than this, my love. But it's about you believing in that. And if there is still a lack of self-belief here, and you're saying, I am not more than this, I'm worthless, or this is just all I'm good at, this is what I'm meant for, it's not true. But it isn't gonna feel that way until you start telling yourself that, until you start going inside yourself, figuring out the root source of what led you to feeling these things, so that you can start kind of reflecting outwards, externally, outside of yourself, who you truly want to embody. Because the Emperor is here and it's trying to get you to feel this way, but it's only a matter of you taking off the veil and letting yourself see what really lies underneath, because you are the warrior, my love. You are a real warrior. Pile number one. This was exactly what I saw in your reading in terms of the biggest lesson in this phase of your life that you are meant to learn. And I just want to let you guys know, wherever you're at, whatever you're going through, I send you so much love. You are so powerful, pile number one. The fact that your guides sent you such a straightforward message today, it's no coincidence, okay? Like, I need to really emphasize this. You are so much more powerful than you think. And anybody that may have told you otherwise did not feel that way about themselves. And so they kind of they project their pain onto you. And it wasn't fair to you if that ever happened, or if you were bullied. There may have been a lot of things that led you to having a lack of self-belief in yourself today. But I want you to know that your guides believe in you. The fact that I am a stranger that gave you a reading like this and it was randomized, all that stuff, it's all telling you that you're powerful. Why not believe that instead? Have an absolutely beautiful rest of your day, pile number one. I send you so much unconditional love. If you haven't gotten a chance to check out any of my other videos on my YouTube channel, highly recommend. I don't just do pick a card readings. I do much more things than that, as my YouTube channel is all about helping you step into your power, helping you heal, helping you become the best version of yourself you could possibly embody, as I am a facilitator for deep healing, and I want to help you guys be able to learn how to be that for yourselves in time. But we got to start from somewhere. And my channel, I am proud to say, it kind of combines the science with the things we cannot see to make something very well-rounded and beautiful. So with that being said, I just wanted to leave you with that. Send you so much unconditional love. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I hope to see you soon in the next pick a card reading that I have to upload in the future. Bye. Hi, pile number two. This is Ahimsa here. Oh my god, I can't talk today. This is Ahimsa here. And welcome to your reading, my love. Okay, so if this is the beautiful card that allowed you to choose this pile, then this is exactly what your biggest lesson is in this phase of your life that you are meant to learn. So I had a plan on doing this reading a little bit differently today, like I normally do my other pick a card readings. I actually felt called to use my karma cards, and my karma cards absolutely love this deck because it helps me be able to answer questions a little bit quicker than maybe tarot or oracle cards could. And we're actually going to be looking into those cards before we actually take a look at your oracle cards today, as I feel like this is really what's going to help be able to give us insight on or pinpoint the exact specific biggest lesson that you are meant to overcome in this specific phase of your life. All right, so with that in mind, the way that this works, we have the planets pile, we have the signs pile, and the houses pile. What we're going to be doing is laying them out with planets first, signs, and then houses last. I am going to shuffle, and if, let's say, 2 planet cards come out and only 1 come out on each side, we're going to mix and match and see exactly how we can pinpoint the biggest lesson for you, because I want to make this as organic as possible. And if spirit has more than 1 lesson to share with you, I will definitely let that come through, because I am here to help you step into your power, help you become the best version of yourself. And I need to be straight up and allow Source to do what Source wants to do in this moment to help give you those answers at this time of your life. All right, my love? So with that being said, pile number 2, let's get into this. Let us see, what is pile number 2's biggest lesson in this phase of their life? Thank you. All right, so this is the card. We're going to place these to the side. Next up, what is pile number 2's biggest lesson in this phase of their life? Life. All right. And for houses, what is pile number 2's biggest lesson in this phase of their life? All right. Just placing the cards to the side. We're going to take a look at these cards here first before we dive into your oracle cards. But with that, let us take a look. For the planet card, for pile number 1, I actually only looked at the blue. So I am going to listen to what Source is asking me to do right now so that I can give you everything you need to hear. I don't even feel like blue is a big deal. I feel like the red, so it's an action answer, something about learning how to take action for something. Pile number 2, I'm gonna just go with what's going on here and allow Source to tell me what to do. So we're gonna go with it. You got Saturn. The next card you have, we're looking at the red, is Capricorn. So we got Saturn in Capricorn, and with the house we have in the 11th house. So at this time I am going to zoom in so you guys can see exactly what the lines are for each, and keep in mind that there is an S, an M, and a P. So S is for spiritual action, mental action is M, and physical action is P. All right, so we're seeing be realistic about your goals for humanity's sake. Be realistic about your goals for humanity's sake. And then the next column we have, or next row, we have be concerned about the day-to-day reality of your hopes and wishes. Be concerned about the day-to-day reality of your hopes and wishes. And what's really interesting here, by the way, I wanted to preface here, pile number 2, you got the Grand Cross. This in astrology is an aspect that is not a fun aspect to have in someone's chart. This is an aspect that has to do with many squares and many oppositions all coming together to create the most possible conflict that you can think of. So you might be experiencing something right now at this phase of your life, pile number 2, that is very frustrating, very stressful. You cannot take it anymore. You are feeling lost. You feel like you don't have a sense of control in your life. You might feel like everything is just spiraling out of control. You might have moments where you're breaking down at this phase of your life where you feel like you can't take it anymore, you can't do it anymore. But what's interesting here, you have Saturn in Capricorn. Saturn is ruled by the sign of Capricorn in astrology. And the fact that Capricorn is like the father of all the zodiac signs and Saturn is like the father of all the other planets, there is a lot of karma and lesson, a huge lesson here in this phase of your life. I don't know if you might be going through a Saturn return, pile number 2. I don't know if there's something to do with
maybe looking at your chart. If you are an astrology junkie, maybe there's something going on with the current Saturn transit in this current time and it's messing with your natal chart Saturn placement. But from what I'm seeing here, pile number 2, that in terms of this lesson, from just with looking at these cards without even looking at the rest of your oracle cards, you might be feeling like life is working against you, or the universe is conspiring against you. Everything is against you right now, and you got a lone wolf through this, and you feel kind of helpless. You might be feeling kind of stuck or lost, and you might feel like you're trying to do everything you can to get there, but maybe you're not fighting hard enough. And I know that's gonna sting. Some people might even get out of this video listening to this part, pile number 2, because I didn't want to say it, but then your guides are like, okay, keep going. So I'm gonna keep going. And when we look at the physical action, you must wait before you can use the most business-like way and do it for the future. I'm seeing that wait is more about the energy or essence that Saturn embodies. As Saturn is one of the slower moving planets in our solar system. It can take at least or about 27 years to do a full circle around the sun. Think about that. That's over 2 decades of our life. That is insane to think about. So the fact that one of the slowest moving planets are showing up in your reading in terms of the biggest lesson that you're meant to learn in this phase, are you rushing? Are you letting things get a little bit too sporadic when in reality, if you slow down inside yourself and you take a moment to reflect, think about all the things that led you to where you're at, what are you going to find? Because there is a lot of beauty in your life, pile number 2. Maybe right now it's hard to see it, and it might for a little bit. I'm going to be honest here, pile number 2. I feel like this phase in your life that you're experiencing is going to take some time, but it's only because something that the lesson here is very huge, and once you overcome it, that's what's going to help start speeding up the process of you getting out of this gunk that you're experiencing right now. I'm going to keep that thought to myself. What I shared so far is what I'm seeing so far, and we're going to start taking a look at the rest of your cards. I'm just going to place your karma cards up here so we kind of get to keep that in mind, and we're going to get to cover up the blue outcome answer because that isn't necessary for this reading for you today. So let's just move that up here. Hopefully you guys can see that. And if you guys haven't taken a moment to notice, I actually brought out my obsidian crystal or mineral here for today's reading for everybody watching, because I feel like obsidian is one of the most powerful stones that you can actually own when it comes to being cutthroat honest with lessons and learning, revealing the truth. Anything that has to do with getting deep with yourself and honest, being brutal, I feel like obsidian is like one of those more cutthroat energies to help you embody that, for deep, true healing to occur, for deep change to occur. It's like the Tower card in a crystal. I just wanted you guys to notice, if you guys notice like there is an extra crystal, I can't talk. If there is an extra crystal there, that's what it is, and it's here to help you guys get everything you need to know out and on the table, all right? So with that being said, we're just going to place the significant, I cannot talk. Are you guys like frustrated? Is it like a whirlwind going on? Because I feel like I'm getting so tongue-tied, and particularly your reading. So maybe you guys are feeling very heady and source is asking you to ground, because there needs a lot of grounding to be done in this phase of your life in order for you to be able to even think clearly so you can take the right steps forward to overcome this. Pile number 2, because right now I'm just feeling like shaky. Like you might literally feel like the whole world is conspiring against you when that's not true. Okay, it's just challenging you. I know that's hard to hear, but it is. So I'm gonna place your significator card here, and we're gonna take a look at the rest of your oracle cards. All right. So with the first chakra card, you got abundance with the solar plexus chakra. And you got perfection with the root chakra. This is already making sense to me. I feel like I want to make space for your Sacred Destiny card, so that's what I'm going to do. You have love. I have a lot of thoughts here, pile number 2. I don't know if I want to share them or if I want to wait and see what the rest of your tarot cards have to say. So give me a moment. So I am going to say one thing. For anybody watching this and they have something to do with this phase of their life, they're trying to get love and they're struggling with it and they've been trying to attain it for a while, whether it's finding the right person or maybe meeting the right people or maybe even learning how to build some sort of community, something to do with people, definitely, or attracting the right people into your circle, into your auric field. This might not resonate for everybody. Like I said, it's kind of a specific message for whoever this resonates with that's listening to this pile. I got to share everything I have, so thank you for your patience, my loves. I am seeing that if it has to do with anything that I just listed out here, you are being way too rigid, and the universe wants to give you something that can only happen if you open up your mind. And you open up your mind to different possibilities to how this can occur, how this can happen, or how you can get the outcome you seek. And there's a rigidity here because there's still some sort of internalized fear that has something to do with you not feeling secure in yourself. I don't know if this is making sense to you guys, pile number 2. It's just what I'm seeing. Maybe it'll make sense once we start getting out your other cards though, for sure, okay? So that's what we're gonna do now. Let's grab your tarot cards. Ooh! I hit the camera with my head. That was funny. So let us take a moment to take a look at this for you. So what is pile number 2's biggest lesson in this phase of their life that they are meant to learn? What is pile number 2's? I feel like your guides are making me give you a straightforward reading today. As I don't really have a certain system on how I lay my cards out, I allow Source to show me how they want me to do it, and I think today your guides want me to make a very short, concise, straight to the point reading for you guys. So that's what we're going to be kind of doing. So the back of the deck energy is the Queen of Swords, mental fortitude. Write that down, keep it in your Rolodex in the back of your head, okay? Because I feel like this is a very big keyword for this reading, the theme of the lesson here. And not only that, but learning how to embody that more in your life so you can really start getting out of this crap that you're experiencing, excuse my language. All right, so we're just gonna place that over here. And these are all the cards that we got for you, as these are all your significator cards in terms of the short and sweet answer there summarized, and then we're going to get into more of the juicy detailed stuff here with this deck. Pile number 2, let us take a look at your significator cards before we take a look at the details, right? So for the first card, we have the Knight of Wands. In terms of the specific lesson that you are meant to learn in this phase of your life. Knight of Wands. Next up, we have the Four of Wands. Is that a phoenix? Wow, that's beautiful. Phoenix rising from the ashes. You are currently in the ashes and you are meant to learn how to rise out of it. Rise, get yourself out of it. A phoenix doesn't need anybody to do that for them. The phoenix itself is the one that rises itself out of the ashes. That is very intense, but that's what I'm feeling. And I think the intensity is emphasized here because in the imagery of this Four of Wands card in particular, we actually have a full moon directly behind it. Next up, we have the Three of Wands. Much Wands energy, if you guys haven't noticed. And lastly, we have the Herald of Wands, which is what is also known as the Page of non-bread. I meant the Page of Wands in this deck. Sorry for my words. I think it's really your energy that I'm channeling because you guys are very losing it right now. I'm feeling like tornadoes in my mouth, in my brain. Oh my God. Do you guys hear this? Do you guys hear this? I don't talk this bad. But you guys are making me. I'm joking. I love you all. Sending you guys so much unconditional love. But let's continue. Page of Wands. Wands, wands, wands. Pile number 2.
mental fortitude with the swords here peeping out, and wands all over the place. You are meant to keep persevering. The biggest lesson here, before we even look at the details of the situation at hand for you, you are meant to learn how to keep persevering. Even if it feels like the world is conspiring against you, even if it feels like there is no support on your side, your light, your fire, your passion is what should keep helping you drive forward. And if you feel like that is not happening right now, then ask yourself if this is something you really love. And I feel like most of you guys are gonna say, yes, this is something I really love. And if it is, then keep going at it. Why would you give up now when you have that gut feeling internally that you're not supposed to? Because I'm actually feeling like some of you guys listening to this have a gut feeling or some sort of, you're naturally really intuitive, and you guys might not always listen to your gut feelings, but this gut feeling isn't a bad one, and I think you need to start listening to it. Like if you have a feeling that you shouldn't be giving up or stopping or quitting wherever you're at, whether it has to do with love, whether it has to do with a personal goal of yours, whether this has to do with healing, anything in general in terms of the phase at which you're at in life right now, apply this lesson, this message into what feels fit for you regarding your current circumstances, okay? Going back to this, wherever you're at, and you feel like there's a reason why you're still there, and you know that there's a reason. You know deep in your heart of hearts, pile number 2, that there is a reason why you're still there, why there's still a childlike wonderment with this thing. And you're meant to keep pushing forward, persevering through it, and see it to the very end so that you can get the clarity. Because I think right now what's most important for you is learning how to keep following or going with that gut feeling. And once the gut feeling goes away, that's when you know when you should throw the towel and call it a day, basically. Because I am feeling like you're asking for a little bit too much right now. Too fast, too soon is what I'm also hearing, as the Wands energy is an energy that's pretty fast, pretty quick and swift. After all, the 8 of Wands is one of the fastest moving cards in the deck for a reason, right? It's ruled by Wands. And when I think of Wands, I think of passion. Maybe you're a very passionate person too, pile number 2. I feel like if this does have to do with love in particular, that there might be this feeling of needing to accomplish certain things in love. I don't know if you're currently in a relationship right now as well. That's another thing that could be coming through, and you're trying to see it through. Maybe some things are having some turbulence with the Grand Cross being your significator card, and you're not sure if you should keep pursuing it. I am hearing that there's a reason why your gut is telling you to stay. And I feel that for some of you, you guys are very hard or strong-willed people. Pile number 2, I feel like you're somebody who knows what you want and you get what you want when you want it, and that type of energy. And I love that energy for you. Good. That's beautiful. However, it does kind of make you get a little bit closed off to potential, to opportunities that you're not letting yourself see, because you're so fixed or rigid on seeing things through a very certain, specific, particular way. And so, yes, like you're the go-getter, but it's very like in extremes. And the lesson here is to learn how to find the middle lining. At least that's what I'm seeing so far. Because in order to find the middle lining is what's going to help you be able to persevere and overcome this situation that you're experiencing. Because I am seeing like, yes, 100%, pile number 2, you are completely entitled to feel overwhelmed. You're completely entitled to feel stressed out right now. Whether this is love, career, passion, anything, okay? Remember that. Apply this into the situation that you're currently going through in this phase in your life, okay? Because everyone, thousands of people are listening, different situations for everybody. But wherever you're at in life, like you have 100% reason to be frustrated right now. You have 100% reason to feel as overwhelmed, as lost, as literally exhausted as you might feel. However, source, universe, higher self, whatever you want to call it, whatever you see fit in this moment. You weren't put in this life because whatever it is thought that you couldn't overcome this. You weren't put here because your doom was planned from the start. There's always a happy ending. It's only if we let ourselves get there in life. I truly, genuinely believe that. And if you're not happy yet with where you're at, it's not the end. This isn't the end. After a storm comes a rainbow, but it's about letting yourself keep looking at the vision. Focus on the vision. And actually what's interesting is I say that right now, I'm realizing the 3 of Wands. Focus on the vision. The 3 of Wands is about foreseeing, looking forward, and not as much as the Two of Wands is more about planning, but the Three of Wands is also about planning in the sense of like taking action for the things that are aligned with your future and the plans that you have for your future. So it's about continuing to pursue, continuing to persevere, regardless of the change that you might be experiencing, because it is very lightning-like, like you're trying to run away from lightning trying to strike you right now. And I can only imagine how exhausting that must feel all the time. But you are a warrior, you are a fighter, and Source is trying to get that fighter spirit out of you. And I know maybe you might feel like you've been fighting like crazy and crazy and crazy. Maybe you can't take it anymore. But it's the grounding and finding that balance with the fighting spirit and the grounded inner centeredness, finding a place to be able to kind of call home inside yourself to keep coming back to when things get too overwhelming. That's what's really going to help you develop mental fortitude. That's one. And secondly, this lesson is also here to show you what real manifestation of anything in life is really all about. And in order to be able to do all those things too, you also got to make sure that everything you're doing or what you're experiencing right now, you're experiencing it through a clear-headedness where there is mental fortitude intact, and slow and steady is what wins the race. So if you feel like mental fortitude is something that is very hard for you to get to, maybe it's because you're being invited through this lesson to go inside yourself, learn how to find that home inside yourself, to be able to come back to when things get too overwhelming in the midst of the chaos that you're experiencing right now at this time. With that being said though, pile number 2, we are definitely going to start taking a look at the cards here to get even more insight onto what is going on in terms of the biggest lesson that you are meant to learn in this current phase of your life. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 cards in total. So with the first card, we have the Six of Cups. Next, the Herald of Swords, which is what's known as the Page of Swords. The Emperor. I'm just going to slide this up here. The Eight of Swords. I feel called to place these cards here, so that's exactly what I'm going to be doing, all right? I have no specific way of setting my cards up. I kind of allow Source to tell me how they want me to set it up. We have the Seven of Cups. The way that this is lining up with exactly what your significator card is all about is just astounding to me so far, but I'll get into it. The Herald of Pentacles, so much page energy. You have a lot of opportunity here, but you're getting so caught up in the tornado that's feeling like you're losing it in life that you're not letting yourself see it, the opportunities to kind of overcome these things, because you're so caught up in I'm gonna be very blunt right now and cutthroat because Obsidian's here, I think, but you're so stuck on playing the victim that you're not letting yourself see the real opportunities in front of you to help yourself get out of the turmoil or be able to move through it in a way where you feel like there's some sort of sense of control within you. I'm just saying that. Let's leave it there for now because I know some of you guys hate me for stating that. So again, Page of Pentacles. And for the last 6 cards, we have the Magician. Next up, the Herald of Cups. Like I said, you guys literally have all the pages now. You got the Page of Wands, the Page of Swords, you got the Page of Cups, and the Page of Pentacles. I'm telling you right now, I think Source is really calling you out in terms of how to take control back over your life or something like that. Like, you have the key to this, only you. I'm hearing that. You have the key to this, only you. It's not externally based. Nothing else can save you except yourself right now. Pile number 2. And again, apply this into your life as you see fit. You have the Three of Swords. You have the King of Wands. You have the Queen of Cups. Oh, this is beautiful. This message that I'm hearing and seeing for you in terms of how to embody this lesson, apply this lesson into your life is just so outstandingly straightforward. I love how much Source has been trying to help everyone step into their power. And lastly, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Wow. Okay. Wow, pile number 2. This is beautiful. I am going to move your back of the deck energy right in the middle because I feel like this is the star of the show along with the significator cards. So we can slide these cards up and you can see everything. I'm sorry if the glare is a little bit too much of a pain. I am trying my best for you guys to be able to see everything. Pile number 2. This reading is cutthroat. This reading is intense, okay? So I'm just warning you. Keep that in mind as we move forward. This lesson is a big one. I don't know, like I said, something about Saturn return might be a thing that's going on, or maybe like the full moon might have affected you. I've been seeing a lot of imagery of full moons here. So it's very likely that there's been some sort of situation where maybe like since the last full moon or something like that, that's been like making you go a little bit bonkers, or since then that's where this phase of your life started. Just wanted to point that out because it is here and I felt like pointing it out in case that is the case for some people. But from what I'm seeing here, there's a lot of stuff coming through. And the reason why I'm being very quiet, or I might feel like I'm taking a lot of pauses in this one in particular, is just because there's a lot of information that wants to be said and I'm trying to figure out how I want to share it. So we have your main lesson here. It's about learning how to rise from the ashes, and regardless of the circumstances being thrown at you, you might feel like you're being deceived in life right now by the universe. It's not true. There's a better way of doing what you're trying to get or overcome in your life right now. And I believe that your guides are trying to guide you by feeling like your life is chaotic right now to start honing your inner power, start going within yourself to say, how can I solve this situation for me? How can I solve this situation on my own without trying to seek some help on the outside? And it's hard. I know that. Like, I know it's hard to tell yourself that this is something you have to keep pushing through. I see with the Emperor here, along with the Three of Swords, this is this energy of someone who's very, very tired of always having to be the boss or always having to be the leader, always having to put the big boy pants on, if you know what I mean by that saying. Like, that's the saying that was a thing in the past. Just persevering can be very exhausting. You know, I know that feeling really sucks and it's exhausting, but the resilience is there to help you keep getting stronger in life. This is helping you build your character so you can become unstoppable. So in case something like this ever were to happen again, you know how to handle it if it does. And the way to handle it, though, is not letting it feel like it's getting out of control. I'm seeing that there's this energy like you might be kind of giving away your power a little bit too much, too willingly, to the situations around you that are making you feel like you have a lost sense of control right now. If you feel like everything is going out of whack, everything is too chaotic, maybe you're giving the chaos too much power over how you're choosing to feel. Does that make sense? I really hope that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, you get to control your reaction to situations in life. You get to choose the actions you get to take moving forward. And from what I'm seeing here, it feels like you're acting like everything is out of your hands and you have no choice, or something like that. There's always a choice in life. It's just about trying to find that loophole in the situation to help yourself figure that out for yourself. This is something that I do see you overcoming. I don't know what this is, pile number 2, because like I said, this is a general reading. Everyone's going through something different in life right now. And if you haven't noticed, I am blocking some of the cards out because I realize that there's nudity in some of these cards and I don't want YouTube to kick off this video. So I am trying my best to oblige to the rules. But from what I'm seeing here, pile number 2, as hard as it is to hear, you are being challenged to have mental fortitude to keep pushing forward. And the world isn't working against you. Okay, I know it feels that way, but it's just because of the way you're seeing it. You might feel like maybe one after the other, something after the other is kind of happening and things are kind of taking a turn for the worse. But it's only if you let your perception see it that way, your perspective see it that way. I don't know if you're naturally a little bit of a realist in life, too realistic for your own good, where maybe you don't even give yourself an opportunity to see the glass half empty or half full sometimes. You maybe find optimists to be stupid. Maybe you find them to be like a waste of time or something like that. Like, oh, this is too good to be true. Like maybe you always think that too much to the point where it kind of keeps the magic at bay, like it's gone. You might feel like there's no magic in your life. And maybe you thought there was at one point. But what intrigues me here, I just realized something. We have the Three of Wands here with the Pegasus and the wings. And over here with the Seven of Cups, again, we have a Pegasus with the wings, and there's a woman here and she's like hugging it, holding onto it. And then the Queen of Cups, there's like something glowing in her cup over here. I don't know if you guys can see that because of the glare. There's like a glowing green color. Heart chakra energy is the thing that's coming through for me. Okay, this is super interesting. I feel like your higher self is inside you right now, and it's trying to come out and help work together with you to help get you out of this gunk that you're going through right now. Pile number 2. And the only way you can kind of greet your higher self, work with your higher self right now, is by grounding yourself, finding that inner home in you to be able to feel stable during the craziness that's going on the external right now. Because you need an area inside yourself to be able to ground and recenter, because I am seeing like this, there's no easy way to say this, your life is a shit show right now, excuse my language, and you might be feeling that way. And I know there's a little bit of a lightheartedness when I say that, because it's kind of like, damn, she's like being brutal, but to be honest, like this is such a serious thing. I just feel that I'm sorry for anyone watching this. Like, I can only imagine what you're going through. Like, I wish I could give you a big hug and just let you cry it out on my shoulders. Like, I just feel so bad. And you know, it's hard. It is hard. And I've been there in my own way, in my own areas of life, in my own experiences. Everyone has been in this type of energy before, is what I'm trying to say. But it's only, like, at the end of the day, everyone has their own outcome in this type of situation they're in, if it's like the similar energies, because they chose to allow those outcomes to happen. They didn't take action as one, or they did take action and they were able to get themselves out of it or overcome it more swiftly, more easily. And what I'm seeing from here, what your guides really want you to know in terms of this lesson, you're meant to learn how to get yourself out of this shit show. You're meant to learn how to be your own supporter, your own support system, be your own rock. Because I don't know if maybe you've been like looking for that elsewhere, or maybe you are a little bit of a control freak in your life and you're being called to learn how to loosen up that grip you have on your life right now and your life circumstances, because we cannot control all these things. We're not God. We are not meant to be able to do all of this. We are supposed to learn how to have an internal locus of control to help us be able to tackle life situations that it introduces us to every once in a while, head on, and do it proactively, step by step, so we can get the results that we seek for out of life. You know, life doesn't just drop things out of the sky and give it to us, grant it to us. True manifestation, true power comes from those that work their asses off or keep pushing no matter how much resistance is being thrown at them. Here's the other thing though. When I say that though, I want to clarify something with what I just said. What I said doesn't mean that I need you guys to fight against what's going on. I'm not saying that. Doing that is actually going to make the situation feel even worse than it is. You might have actually been doing that. You might have been exploding maybe randomly. You're like, oh my God, like I'm losing it. And it makes it feel a lot worse, right? It might feel like you have no control. You might feel like you can't do anything that I just shared. Well, then that's why I'm saying, try to change your perspective on it. Ground yourself, go inside, do a check-in, maybe some journaling. This is a time for you to really get real with yourself and really ask yourself, okay, I know I can't control all this chaos, but what can I control? What am I able to really put my foot down on and tell myself, let's be real here, I can do this. What can you control? And I can list them out. You can control your actions. You can control how you react to situations. You can control what you choose to give power to in your life on a day-to-day basis. You get to choose what feelings have the most reign over you. And you get to choose the steps you want to take each and every day, whether they're small baby steps, whether they're big giant leaps. You get to control all of that. The world can't just make you have your legs broken. I'm giving you a metaphor, and make you just lifeless. You have free will for a reason. You get to decide each and every day how you're going to show up, what mindset you're going to have when you get out of bed in the morning, etc. This is where the mental fortitude comes in. This is the lesson in this area of your life right now that you are meant to learn, embody, so that you can become a superstar. Because I am seeing you are the phoenix. Are you going to rise out of the ashes or not, though, is the question, my love. Are you going to apply this into your situation? Because I am feeling like some of these people that are watching this might have something to do with love, and they're in a relationship. They don't know if they want to let go of it. You know, yes, there's been hurts, but do you feel like in your heart of hearts that there is ways around this? Because at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. I think I uploaded a wisdom nugget on this topic about perfectionism doesn't exist. And if I haven't, I'm actually going to be uploading one soon. I just realized I don't think I did yet. My bad. But I will be uploading a wisdom nugget on that topic very soon because I need everyone to learn that perfectionism is not a thing. Perfectionism is different for every single person that uses the definition of what perfect means to them. And I just realized that the word perfection is here. I forgot this card existed when I said that. That's so trippy. Yes. And so perfectionism is an illusion, my love. There's no right or wrong way to get to wherever you're trying to get to in life. This phase of your life, you have a lot of different opportunities to learn how to get out of it, but it's about grounding, being straight up with yourself and saying, what can I control and what can I not, and what little steps can I take to get there? You have a bunch of different avenues at which you can travel to get out of this. And it's about you really just being honest with yourself and being willing to take the necessary steps forward. I really feel like I'm just gonna leave you with that because I don't think that wherever you're at, you're not meant to give it up right now. Pile number 2, you are not meant to give this up. You're meant to keep persevering and finding the different outcomes, different possible solutions to get there because it's really up to you. It's in your hands. You are a master manifester. I just realized with the Magician card, I've been so focused on covering up this nudity in this card that I forgot you are the master manifester here and you have the skills to overcome this. A huge thing. Maybe you just forgot. I don't know if there was something to do with a lot of people around you. I don't know if this, I'm hearing like a channel message, your environmental influences, like your environment is kind of making you feel this is out of your hands. I don't know if you're around a lot of people that are kind of in a victim mindset. They're kind of stuck in their own way of doing things. Or maybe your parents or whoever brought you up in this life taught you that there's a very fixed way of doing things, but that's why maybe they're not happy with their life either. So it's like you gotta really ask yourself, like, are you listening to the right advice? Are you taking in the right things? Or what led you to where you are? Because there's an answer for everything. You just gotta ask yourself the why. Pile number 2. And that means going inside yourself. That means journaling. That means checking in. That means being really brutally honest with yourself and everything I just said. That's the lesson here. That's what's going to help you overcome this. And I do see you overcoming it, but the time at which it will take is up to you in terms of what you decide to do with the opportunity that Source is giving you in the situation that you're experiencing right now, right? Again, you get to choose if you want to stay in this victim mindset or realize that you are a lot more powerful than you think. Sending you so much unconditional love. I know this was a very bittersweet pill to swallow, probably more bitter than sweet, to be honest. I would probably want to push the person giving me this reading if I were you. Maybe that's not true. I'm more of an open person, so I'm open-minded. I'm willing to take in the information, but you know, some people listening to this maybe are like, screw you, how dare you say this? I'm just telling you what Source has told me. So just keep that in mind. I don't want anyone to be hating on themselves or hating on me for being the messenger. But if it is, that's the way it's gonna be. Okay, that's fine. I send you guys love and I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day, and definitely highly recommend that you do check out my YouTube channel because my YouTube channel is all about helping you reclaim your power, helping you heal and become the best version of yourself, step into your power and do all those things. And it might actually help you be able to learn how to find a home inside yourself, as I do have a chakra healing series that is all about you learning about the demons that we all struggle with, or shadow sides in life that we struggle with on a day-to-day basis, and how to kind of overcome them. But I do drop the videos of that series out slowly, so you know, definitely subscribe if that's something that you feel interested in looking into. But with that being said, I send you guys so much unconditional love. I really hope you guys took notes on this reading, because this was a very deep one. This was a very straightforward one, and this one I think is one of those types of phases that you're experiencing in life that is going to change your life for the better if you let it. it, because in my head I just keep hearing Saturn return. And if you guys don't know what a Saturn return is, highly recommend you guys take a look and do some research on that on your own, because Saturn returns are very major transits that everyone experiences in their life, and we experience more than one, but it's every like around 27 to 28 years, I believe. And so the karmic cycle in life at which you're going through is entirely of your making. Like I said, it's about choosing the victim mindset or choosing to take the control or power back in your hands and actually trying to be proactive about the situation that's being dealt with you. And so, you know, that's up to you. I'm sorry if my hand is kind of awkward there. I'm just trying to block out the nudity. But again, I send you guys so much unconditional love. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And again, I'm sorry if this was a bitter pill to swallow. I don't like hurting anyone's feelings. It's just everything that I channel, at the tone at which I channel it, to the things I share, it's all how source wants me to deliver the message, okay? So just remember, it's not me personally trying to yell at you or get mad or whatever or riled up. It's just how they want me to present it so that maybe it helps give you the most impact, so you guys can really absorb the information being given in terms of the lesson that you're meant to learn in this area of your life or phase of your life. All right, pile number 2, hopefully I'll get to see you in the next time I upload a pick a card reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 3, and welcome to your reading. This is Ahimsa here, and we are going to be diving into what the biggest lesson is in this current phase of your life that you are meant to learn right now. And if this was a significator card that helped you choose out this pile, then you know this reading is for you, my love. And not only that, the moon with soul has a lot to do with things that are beyond the physical, or things that might feel like we can't really see, or maybe you feel like you can't really see ahead right now in where you're at in life. Maybe it might feel like there's fog over your eyes and it's just hard to see a nice, easy, visible pathway right in front of you in terms of the phase that you're going through in life. Like, it might feel like a little bit clarity is needed and you're a little bit confused. You might not know where to go in particular, but interestingly enough, I do feel like this has a lot to do with you learning how to trust yourself a little bit more just by having a first look at this card. But in order to really get a full, well-rounded answer for exactly what the biggest lesson is in terms of the phase that you're going through in this time, we are going to take a look at my beautiful karma cards here to help us get that answer. And the way that this works to help us figure out, pinpoint the exact biggest lesson that you're meant to learn in this phase in your life, we're going to use the planets pile. As you can see, we have 3 different piles with planets, signs, and houses. We put planets first. That's the way that this deck works. Then signs and houses. What we're gonna do is we're gonna try to see how many cards want to come out for one. If more than one comes out in each pile, that's fine. We're gonna have a lot of more messages, and that means there's more lessons that you're meant to learn in this phase of your life that are really important for that source wants to share with me. If it doesn't, then we'll have one lesson. We're gonna allow source to kind of decide that for us. With that in mind, let us definitely take a look and start the shuffling now. So let us see, what is the biggest lesson that pile number 3 is meant to learn at this phase of your life? Learn in this life. Thank you. We got one card here. Oh my gosh. All right. And we're going to take a look at these cards to begin. So with these cards, keep in mind that you're going to notice that there is red words on one side and blue words on the other. Blue is the outcome answer and red is the action answer. With this pile, for some reason, I actually feel called to see what colors come out the most, and then that's the answer. That's going to be the way we're going to read it. So with the first card, we have Mercury, so it's showing up with red first. Next up, we also have red. We have Aquarius. So Mercury and Aquarius, and with the house, we also have red. So we are going to be reading this in the red way, not the blue way, okay? So ignore the blue. Blue's doesn't matter right now. Red is what matters in the 4th house. So we have Mercury and Aquarius in the 4th house. And this is actually interesting. 4th house has a lot to do with the moon energy. So I'm very curious to see how these 2 things come together throughout your reading. But I completely forgot to light up your candle, so let me just do that really quickly. Hopefully I already zoomed in at this point because I want you guys to really get a nice look at each row in terms of the action, the lesson that you were meant to learn at this phase of your life. But if you can't tell, I'm just going to show you really quick. The top row with the S is the spiritual action that you're meant to take. Then M is for mental action, and physical action is for P at the very bottom, all right? So we're just going to read that straight through. So for the spiritual action, it is communicate your vision as you did in the past. Communicate your vision as you did in the past. Something about the past. Next up is for mental action. Analyze what's new and different about your home base or your family. Are you guys on a healing journey? Analyze what's new and different about your home base or your family. Let's continue with the physical action. Let your mind tell you how to use an unconventional way and do what makes you feel secure. Let your mind tell you how to use an unconventional way and do what makes you feel secure. Your reading is the one reading so far within this topic that is making me have a little bit of a flustered moment, because from what I'm seeing here, I can understand why you're feeling confused. I feel like there's a fog still here. The biggest thing that's coming through pile number 3, if you guys are currently on, I'm just going to place your significator card over here. If you are currently on like some sort of journey of healing, or maybe you're sort of uprooting your past right now and it's been causing some turmoil, I'm even hearing some of you guys might be going through a dark night of the soul, which is a topic I definitely plan on diving into in a mini series soon. So stay tuned if that's something you're interested in learning more about. If you guys don't know much about a dark night of the soul, dark night of the soul is basically a time in your life where a lot of the deep, icky stuff that healing tends to bring along with it comes up, uproots itself, and kind of hits us in the face with. And it can be very intense, it could be very dark, it could be very heavy in those moments and scary. That's one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people kind of run away from healing, or they avoid it, because they get a little bit of a sneak peek at what that feels like, and then they're like, oh my god, this is too much, and they run away. And here I'm actually hearing something similar, as the 4th house rules the home. There's a lesson here, at least from what I'm hearing or seeing, or what it's showing me in these cards so far, if I can put these all together before we even take a look at the rest of your oracle cards, is you are being called to, in terms of this lesson, learn how to stay true to your values, stay true to yourself while moving through this phase in your life. At least that's what I'm picking up on so far. So with that, I'm gonna put a pin in it, and we're gonna continue looking at the rest of your oracle cards and see what else comes up, all right? So with one of the first chakra cards, you got self-worth, with the sacral chakra card ruling this one. And this actually aligns a lot with here, because sacral chakra is about the moon, and the moon is about emotions and astrology. Sacral chakra is all about emotions and water. And when you think about water, water gets controlled heavily by the cycles of the moon in itself. And if you hear my cat meowing in the background, just ignore it. I unfortunately have to keep her out of the room while I record these videos because she is talkative, very vocal, as you can hear, and loves to jump up and mess things up, and she will not stop bothering me. So I have my fiance playing with her and trying to distract her outside instead. Thank you for your understanding on that. I actually felt called to open and take out one of the Sacred Destiny cards before I even look at this next chakra healing card, so we're gonna do that. You have stillness. Okay, okay. This is helping me understand where this is leading. I don't know if this is, you're being guided in terms of a lesson how to heal or go inside yourself or something like that. Trauma keeps coming up though. Like, that's a really big thing right now. I don't know if you guys uprooted something about your trauma. I don't know if you suffer with PTSD. Pile number 3. I'm not a doctor or anything. I'm just channeling what I'm feeling. But there's this energy of like you're learning, or you're being called to, the lesson here is learning how to uproot yourself, uproot the trauma, to look at, assess, to rebuild this sense of self-worth. And it involves you going inside yourself. It involves a time of stillness, because healing is about stillness. It's about being comfortable in the uncomfortable. But let us continue. You have the root chakra with complacency. Wow, this is an intense card. She's crying. I think I'm starting, yeah, there's trauma here, my love. Pile number 3. This is the first time I've seen this card in this deck, and I've owned this deck for a while. But the fact that the root chakra's here with complacency, we see a dying plant in the back. It's winter. Everything's cold. She's crying. I feel like maybe you are definitely going through a dark night of the soul, at least from what I'm seeing so far. The fact that the sun is covered by the clouds. This is the moon energy, the illusion. Something is stuck, something is heavy, something is hard to see clearly right now. You might be going through a phase in your own personal healing journey where things are getting a little bit heavy and tough, and it's hard to see it through. Let's continue. And I feel like this might have actually jumped onto you, like it came out of nowhere is what I'm hearing. Like this might have actually happened out of the blue. Maybe this wasn't something that you fully planned on exposing or uprooting to the fullest, and it just kind of came out of nowhere when you least expected it. I just realized something. If you guys haven't noticed this, there's winter here, and I know there's winter in Stillness card because the northern lights are in the background. We also have winter here with self-worth, and we have winter again. Dark Night of the Soul is speaking to me so heavily right now. And you know, the reason why I've been kind of trying to stray away from that concept for a while, if you haven't noticed, is because I know that this is a general reading. I know that there are thousands of different people that are probably going to come upon this video and not be going through a Dark Night of the Soul, or at least that's what I'm assuming. You know, I've been trying to take it with a grain of salt, but the fact that there is so much things pointing to Dark Night of the Soul here, a heavy time, something about going inside yourself. Winter in elemental form and its seasonal form is about darkness. It's about going inside. It's too cold to be outside in a bathing suit and exploring and having all these different adventures. Like, yeah, you can go snowboarding and all that stuff, but you know what I mean. There's a big symbolism here, at least from what I'm seeing so far in your cards, the way everything is aligning. You might be going through a time of going inside yourself, looking at your roots. The 4th house is ruled by the home and your core values and your roots as well. It's also the energy of the mother, so maybe there's something about motherly energy or some sort of PTSD healing. Something is happening or being triggered within you to go inside yourself right now. And I am trying to see where the lesson gets applied here. So we will continue. Let's take a look at the last Sacred Destiny card you got. Oh wow, which is Enlightenment. Okay, so this stillness, this Dark Night of the Soul moment that you're experiencing right now, pile number 3, is supposed to help you reach that enlightenment. Oh, my heart goes out to you because Dark Nights of the Soul are so painful. I know that, okay? I want you guys to know, like, I am not a fan of them, but at the same time I am, because I know that that is where the most healing is done. That is where the most self-growth can be made. I need you guys to keep that in mind whenever you feel like it's getting too heavy, when you're feeling lost in the sauce. Please, pile number 3, remember this forever. This is where you are growing the most. This is where the most progress is going to be made in your healing and your self-growth and everything overall. Because your inner world reflects your outer world. As you continue to work and do those internal things for yourself, eventually your outer world is going to reflect what you want. Self-worth, I feel like it coming up, you are learning how to show up for yourself in ways that maybe in the past others could not show up for you as. That is so hard to hear, and I know how that feels because I've gone through this before myself. So my heart goes out to you so much, pile number 3. I know how it feels when those people that you love the most don't know how to be there for you in the way that you want them to be. And maybe you're learning how to be that thing that you wished others were for you in the past so that you don't have to suffer so much or feel so alone. I'm just sympathizing so heavily. That's why I'm kind of pausing right now, because I know this feeling all too well. And I'm letting you know, like, I send you so much love. You're going to be able to get through this, and we got to take a look at your tarot cards to help you figure out how to. And in terms of what I mean how to apply this big lesson in this current phase of your life that you are meant to learn to overcome, to get out of it. So let us get our tarot cards now for this. I'm going to allow Source to come through for sure, so I know that this might be a heavy reading, but I highly recommend to anybody listening, pile number 3, if this is resonating with you so far, my love, definitely do some journaling. Get a pen, piece of paper or something, or a notebook, whatever you can. Take notes on your phone. Do whatever, but I really feel like some of the stuff that's going to come up is going to be big. And I feel like these are your significator cards, so I am going to put them here. What is pile number 3's biggest lesson at this current phase of their life? What is pile number 3's biggest lesson at this current phase in their life? Back of the deck, energy is the 3 of Swords. So currently it might feel like there's a lot of heartache, a lot of heaviness going on within, my love. And for that, I send you so much love. Know that you are powerful, know that you are strong. And this lesson is here to help enlighten you, help to guide you forward. Remember that, okay? With truth can bring some turmoil, because sometimes the truth is too hard to hear, right? All right, so let us see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We got 14 cards. 7 has been a big number coming up in the decks recently. I never actually shared that with anyone except you guys, pile number 3, so maybe the number 7 has some sort of significance to you. As I'm filming this is a timeless reading, but as I'm filming this, we are in the month of July. The number 7, maybe this is currently a very big thing that you're experiencing. But the number 7 is about having trust and faith in the path forward. So number 1, very big lesson. You need to learn how to have trust in this moment right now, because there is a lot of darkness and it's easy to get lost in the darkness, especially when it comes to healing. You gotta maintain that inner light within yourself, even in the midst of the darkness. You have a flashlight in your hand. Use that flashlight to kind of guide you home, metaphorically speaking, in that dark. So with your significator cards, we have the Herald of Cups. And this is also what's known as the Page of Cups in this deck, but I need to blur out this spot, so you might notice that I have a little something there covering it. And secondly, we have the 2 of Swords. Yes, you are definitely confused right now, but you are being guided to keep going forward. Okay, this is interesting, but let us continue, because pile number 3, I also feel like if there is anyone here listening to this and they're going through something with a relationship that is emotionally abusive in some way, verbally abusive, or they're stuck in some sort of situation where there's people around them that are making them feel terrible and they have no choice but to be submissive to the forces around them. I'm so sorry that you got to go through this, but know that you can find a home inside yourself and heal. It's just going to take time. All right. And let us begin taking a look at the rest of your cards. So we have, let me see if this wants to come upright or reverse. Okay, actually this came, so this is interesting. I don't normally do reversals, but if it accidentally happens, accidentally, I'm putting quotations around the word accidentally here, then I take it as a sign that it wants to be in reverse. This is the 8 of Wands, and it ended up in reverse for you just now when I tried to flip it over. If you guys didn't notice that, I hope it caught it on camera. So 8 of Wands is in reverse here. We have the 7 of Wands upright. Yeah, it's gonna take time. Definitely. It's about slowing down. You're definitely being called. I don't know if I don't feel like you're in a hectic energy right now though. Like maybe the energy around you is hectic, but I don't know if you're rushing. I don't know. The only reason why I'm making those statements, by the way, pile number 3, is just because there was a message of slowing down, and then I got the 8 of Wands in reverse, so I just thought that was a big synchronicity right there. That was serendipitous for that to happen, me sharing that, because 8 of Wands is the fastest moving card in the deck of tarot, and the fact that it showed up in reverse when I don't really do reversals, I'm really going to take that into consideration moving forward. But the next card you have is the 10 of Wands. Okay, for some reason, me looking at all this, I'm hearing skeletons in the closet. So you might definitely be uprooting something of the past, Her ancestral generational trauma is another thing that's coming through. But what's very interesting to me to see this pile number 3 is that you are the first pile that has a lot to do with deep healing and internal phases that you're going through. It's not a physical external thing, but it is affecting you on the physical because there's some internal turmoil going on. Next up, we have the Emperor. And I love, it feels like the Emperor was meant to be put here with the self-worth right on top. So there's a beauty here. By the way, if you guys haven't noticed, I do have something blocking this card here because there is nudity in this card and I don't want YouTube to kill me for it, basically. So, you know, I'm going to try to do my best to keep that blocked moving forward. Next up, we have the Moon card. And it's super ironic that we got the Moon. This is the first pile that got the Moon card. Just realized that. And you have the Moon as your significator. The Two of Swords has moon-like energy to it. The 4th house has moon-like energy to it. Stillness, this card in general has moon-like. This is all winter. Wow, I'm just realizing a lot of things is going on here. Okay, let's continue. You have the death card, my bad, finishing up your first row. So we have 7 more cards here, pile number 3, and your guides are asking me to take this reading pretty slow. So I'm going to honor that request. We're going to leave these final 7 cards out to the side to get your second row out. We're going to do that in time, and we're going to take a look at your first row first to kind of get into this. And let me just place something here to block that out. Okay, let's get my beautiful lapis lazuli crystal and place that over here. Pile number 3, this reading is heavy, and what you're experiencing, I can only imagine how heavy it is for you right now. There is so much learning to be done in this phase of your life that you're experiencing right now. And I know that right now it might feel like it is heavy, it is dark, you don't even know if you can keep moving. Maybe you start giving up on yourself at times. But just know, embodying that Emperor energy the whole way through is what's really, really, really going to help you. This time you need to have a hard shell at this time in your life, pile number 3, because your emotions are stirring up a lot. And definitely because there is an uprooting of some sort coming up, especially with the 4th house. I just keep feeling like there is so much uprooting happening right now. And the fact that the first row ends with the Death card, you are going through like a huge full circle moment. You're having a lot of epiphanies or breakthroughs or realizations. Something is like being revealed to you about your past that maybe you didn't really like look at a lot at one point, and now you are, and it's shedding a lot of light into that and like why it was the way it was, and it's heavy to hear. Very, very, very heavy to hear. I don't know if like the phase in which you're going through in life has something to do with people. You're having a lot of realizations that are making you realize what led you to the point at which you are right now in life. All the decisions, all the things that led you to where you are, this is why you are where you are right now. And you're realizing that. And maybe if you aren't in the process of realizing it, you have realized it already. And it's hard to accept. It's hard to acknowledge. And now because you know all of it or realized it or in this process of realizing, it's hard. It's a lot to carry on your plate. It might feel you're unsure of what to do with all this realizations that you've had. If that's not the case for some of you watching this pile number 3, you will get those realizations and you might not know what to do with them. It's gonna just be very heavy. There's a lot of heaviness in this reading of why you are the way you are. That's what keeps coming up, like why you are the way you are. This is why, and you're learning that now. And it's hard to accept, it's hard to hear, it's hard to acknowledge, and it's heartbreaking. But the lesson here, pile number 3, is realizing that you hold the pen and you get to write your next chapter to your own story. because you're the main character of it. That's one. And secondly, because you are in control of your own destiny. The past happened and there's no way to rewrite it. There's no way to change it. It's about letting yourself acknowledge it for what it was, but continuing to move forward. This is going to take a lot of time. I need to really emphasize the time aspect here, because pile number 3, it is being emphasized in the reading from your guides. Like, I'm not expecting you guys to move through this like that, like in the snap of your fingers. Like, I'm not expecting you guys to get over this right after you hear this reading. This reading is going to provide you insight on the lesson that you're meant to learn in this phase of your life. And I don't actually foresee you, at least how I'm seeing it in my mind's eye, you're not going to be able to fully apply it. You're learning the lesson as you're listening to this reading, if that makes sense. And so go through the lesson. There's no way to rush this lesson. It's going to take time. Especially if this has something to do with healing of any way, shape, or form, pile number 3, it is going to take time. Please do not try to rush it. Please, I emphasize that, please do not try to rush this, because it will just make it even more painful than it already is, okay? Just allow yourself to kind of ride the wave of what it's showing you or what you're experiencing right now, especially if you're feeling a little bit confused, because if you're feeling confused, it's probably also likely that you already tried to get over this really quickly at one point, and it made you even more confused than maybe you were originally before you tried to rush through it, if that makes sense. So it's like your guides are just saying, like, please, step by step, baby steps, one foot after the other. Just focus on one foot after the other. Don't even try to look a couple feet ahead of you right now, pile number 3, because this is very a delicate situation you're in, and the upheaval, the revelations that you're experiencing are heavy and they're eye-opening for a reason, and I think you should start honoring them as such and respect yourself. Respect the pace is what I'm hearing as well, at which your heart desires to allow you to move through this, because you're gonna know when to take those next steps. I feel like maybe you are surrounded by a lot of fast-paced energy. I don't know if you're from the city, or maybe your upbringing, it was really fast, or you always had to like keep trying to prove yourself to others or something. I don't know. There's something about never being good enough or something. You always had to prove yourself. And so you were always like on the go trying to do just that. But when it comes to this phase of your life, there is a dark night of the soul going on. You are just really being called, especially when it comes to introspecting. We can't rush that. We can't rush making a good relationship with ourselves. It's too important to rush through. This is something that I see being a significant thing that's going to help create a huge turning point in your life in time, but it's only if you allow it to take its course, and healing isn't meant to be quick, nor is it meant to be easy. Your guides are, I think, are trying to remind you of that, to like change the way you see this lesson that you're experiencing right now in this phase of your life, because it's something to do with reminding yourself why you started in the first place. This isn't meant to make you suffer. This was meant to bring a lot of things to light that maybe you were having trouble seeing in the past. Now that it's there, it's not about shaming it. It's not about running away from it. And it's not about staying stuck in it either, because it's likely that maybe you're getting a little bit stuck in what you just realized. And what I mean by stuck is you might start holding things against others that happened to you in the past, that others did onto you, when in reality, the past isn't here anymore. You're in the present, and that's the only thing that exists. Look around you and ask yourself, are those things, are those situations that I was in the past still in front of me today? And if they're not, and you're feeling that anger, you're feeling the pain of what was, honor it, grieve it, acknowledge it, because I also feel like this could also be an indication of you're doing a lot of shadow work right now, as the dark night of the soul is exactly that. You are visiting the darkest areas of the healing, and in the healing, in the darker areas, your shadow selves are there, and they lived there for years and years and years. So it's hard, it's heavy, but it's necessary so you can come out stronger. And now is where I feel called to see what the rest of the cards have to say, because I feel like this is what's going to help us get to show you how to apply this lesson a little bit better into your current phase in your life right now, pile number 3. So with the first card for the second row, we have the Temperance card. For the next card, we have the Queen of Cups. And I just need to preface something, not preface, I just need to state this really quick before I continue down the line. The fact that Temperance came up as the card to be right directly underneath the Eight of Wands in reverse is astounding to me, because Temperance is all about patience. Taking your time, slowly alchemizing two different energies together to make something beautiful. And the fact that if you see in this imagery of the card, I'm gonna just block this out with my fingers, we have the tiger and the sheep, embodying those two essences together, but doing it with patience. To find harmony in anything in life, it takes time. And like I said, something that's really, really important in life will take time. I'm just grabbing another crystal to block this imagery out. It will take time because it matters. It is important for your self-growth journey. To treat it as something that isn't of importance and rushing through it is you doing a disservice to yourself and your healing and everything that you want in life. It's doing a disservice to that. It's doing a disservice to your hopes, to your dreams, etc. Allow this to be what it is and take your time moving through it, or allow it to move you through it, is what I'm hearing as well. Because with healing, see it as your nervous system, your body finally feeling somewhat safe to be able to show you these things, to expose these things and bring them to light for you to see. You had to feel somewhat safe enough for this to come up in the way that it did, pile number 3. And you need to honor that. Don't make it feel unsafe now, because then that feeling that you're sitting with isn't going to go away. You need to let it take its course so that those heavy feeling, it's like a dark cloud. You need to allow the dark cloud to pass by. Observe it for what it is. Take note. Thank it for being there. Validate it. But allow it to pass you by in time. And it won't pass you by if you keep fighting it, I'm seeing. There's something about fighting here. It's hard to feel. It's hard to accept. It's hard to hurt. And it's hard to hurt in a way when you know that the hurt that you're feeling right now is going to bring you a lot of emotional gratitude and fulfillment in time. It just, the healing, it sucks, I know, but it's so worth it. You also have the Knight of Pentacles. Yes, taking your time. You're trying to do like too much. You're rushing a lot in life, and you were taught to keep going, get going. You're trying to do things though for the wrong reasons though. When you rush, you're trying to prove yourself. And proving yourself is great. Proving yourself to yourself is beautiful. But doing it from a place of not feeling good enough isn't. And I feel like you're in the process of learning how to rewrite the root source of where you're trying to prove yourself is coming from. Are you trying to prove yourself because you know what it takes to get there? Or are you trying to prove yourself to yourself because you feel like where you're at now, you're not good enough, and you're still not good enough, and you won't be good enough until you get to your end goal? Does that make sense? Those are two very different ways of seeing that though. And so this demolishing in this uprooting of the past, basically demolishing what once was, what once stood there, to recreate something even bigger and better and stronger, so you can embody the true energy of the Emperor here, which is directly underneath the self-worth. That is what the lesson is right now. So I know it's painful, I know it's hard, pile number 3, but you are learning how to break yourself down to rebuild yourself back up again into a much stronger, more stable person, a person with perseverance, a person who has a strong sense of self enough to rely on again and again, to be dependable, to be loved unconditionally by yourself. And that is a hard thing. So validate that. Allow yourself to move through it at a slow and steady pace, because if you were to rush through this and continue to keep doing what you're doing, I don't see you learning this lesson anytime soon. I see this phase taking a lot longer than it should be, because it is entirely up to you at the end of the day, pile number 3, whether or not you just are willing to take everything I'm telling you to apply it into your situation. It will make the phase last longer than it should. Do your own due diligence here. I don't know why the word diligence came up. Honestly, I don't even remember what that word means. So if you guys know what that word means, I highly recommend you look it up, because that is a keyword that just kind of came through in my head. Do your own due diligence right now. I don't know what that statement even means. So do your own due diligence keeps coming through. So whatever that means to you, apply it as you see fit. Look into the word diligence. just because I feel like there's something that you deserve better for right now that you can be giving to yourself right now to make this phase a little bit less painful. It is so painful, but like it can be a little bit less. You're making it more than it should be because you're trying too hard at something right now. All right, it's not supposed to make sense to me, but it's supposed to make sense to you, if that makes sense. Oh, I keep saying that. I need to stop. See, I'm even getting insecure, and I think it's because I'm channeling this lack of self-worth energy. But let us continue. We have the Seven of Cups. Yeah, you have a lot of different ways to get yourself out of this. And the sevens, I keep noticing the sevens. Next up, we have the Two of Cups. And we have the High Priestess. And this blows my mind because the ruling card of this deck is actually the High Priestess. So the fact that the High Priestess is the last card here astounds me right now. So 222 might be of importance to you. The number is 222 because we have 4 twos popping up here. So just keep that in mind. And we have the last 2 cards, which I actually feel called to place directly underneath these last 2 significator cards. So we have the Star. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. I'm about to tell you what is coming up here. I feel like your guides are leaving you with the most beautiful message of reassurance right now, pile number 3. And I hope you guys feel special because none of the other piles got this, at least so far. You are being so held and so loved and being held of such high regard right now by your guides. It is absolutely mind-blowing and makes me speechless because it makes me want to tear up because that lack of self-worth you might be experiencing, they want you to start shining that true light you have in yourself, but the true light is only going to come out, that true love. You have such a big heart, pile number 3, and you have a lot of talent. You have a gift. There's something about you. You're very gifted, but that gift doesn't really come out until you start healing from within. And lastly, you have the Herald of Swords, which is also known as the Page of Swords. You are being called, in terms of this lesson, how you can apply it into your life, to practice patience. Slow and steady is what wins the race. That's 1. Allow everything to take its course. It is going to feel very heavy and you might feel a little bit confused in the midst of it, but that's what healing is all about. We're not supposed to really understand it. We're supposed to allow it to unravel itself like an onion. And as we get closer and closer and closer to the root source of what led us to feeling the way we are today, it gets heavier and heavier and heavier. But then once we get that true enlightenment from it, that is where the gold is found. Like you're mining for diamond, right? The rock is who you are, but what made you who you are is this diamond. And you've unraveled that, or you are in the process of unraveling that for yourself right now. And the closer you get to it, the harder and heavier it is, or if you have already gotten there, it's really heavy to accept and acknowledge, but it's about shifting your viewpoint on it, shifting your perspective on it. That's really going to help you reap the rewards and get the results you're seeking when it comes to this current phase at which you are at in life. Remember, cherry pick what resonates in this reading and leave what doesn't, because this reading is very, very deep. There's a lot of different facets to the reading if you haven't been able to tell by now, and I want to make sure that everyone is getting what they need to get out of this reading. Okay, this is also another very specific channel message. Some of you guys have been looking for love and you feel like it hasn't been coming and you're very confused about why, and then now you're like, oh, maybe I gotta do the healing, and then the healing happened that way because you're trying to get love into your life or something like that. I am seeing that that is definitely going to come, but it's only going to come in time when you're ready for it. Like true, actual love. Love that stands the test of time. Love that is real and genuine. Whether it's with a community, whether it's with a soul family you're trying to attract, whether it's a real relationship, a partnership, it's gonna come after this healing process takes its place. But once after this process is done, everything that you were confused about, the light is going to be shed onto it. And you're going to know what to do, where to go in life, and where this journey in life is going to take you. You just need to allow this phase to kind of play out at the pace at which it is meant to play out. It was destined, I guess you can say, was meant to play out. And what I mean by this is allowing the healing to take its course, because the healing is important and we're not meant to rush it, my love. There is a lot of skeletons in the closet that are being unraveled one by one, and they need your attention. And allow these things to be shed light upon. And as hard as it might be, as confusing some of those moments might be, one way to help yourself get through it is by reminding yourself your why this happened in the first place, or ask yourself, why do you think this could have happened? I feel like not enough people ask questions, and then they kind of feel helpless in that confusion and that illusion-based energy because they don't ask questions for so long. Maybe you're used to just kind of being told what to do, that this is kind of a helpless energy that you're being put in and you don't know what to do. So like I'm telling you, this is where you get to learn how to shine and be your own leader. And I think your wounded self, the most unhealed version, your shadow self, needs that in you right now. Even your inner child. This could be inner child healing coming up as well. Like everything that makes you you needs you right now in your most strongest self to keep putting yourself forward, to keep persevering through this heaviness right now that you're experiencing. Because there is a lot of pain and there is a lot of heartbreak, and you need to allow yourself to grieve and give yourself as much time as necessary. Who are you to rush yourself through that? That is so unfair to you. And so honestly, just allow this death phase in your life to be just that. Because remember, with death comes a rebirth. You are in the midst of a transformation. That's why I said this is a huge transformative point in your life, phase in your life that you're experiencing. And that's why like you need to let it take its time, because then the transformation won't complete itself. You won't be able to level up per se and do those next things and figure out the next steps forward with that ship sailing in the Enlightenment card. I feel like your soul is preparing you to take flight onto a new journey in your life, but that new journey will only come if you allow this to do its thing moving forward. And this is a time of stillness to go within yourself, to do the introspecting, to allow the uprooting to continue doing its thing, because I know it started for most of you watching this. Remember, everything is temporary. This isn't a permanent phase you're experiencing. I don't see it being permanent. It will go away in time. The more you are willing to be open to this process, this phase to continue taking its course, the quicker and easier, more swiftly you will be able to get through it. All right, so just keep telling yourself the end goal. Keep telling yourself that it's happening, it's gonna get there, but be patient with yourself in the midst of it at the same time. That's where you learn how to find a harmony between these two things. And that is where the lesson lies here. Pile number 3, I really hope that this reading helped, resonated with you, or gave you some more insight on what's going on and how you can do it. I noticed that every single pile I've done so far in this pick a card reading topic has been mixed, very different to each other, and the way that the cards are drawn and set up, everything has been so tailored to each individual pile. It's been the most beautiful thing to witness as the messenger, the one who does the readings for spirit or source, universe, whatever you want to call it, your higher self, to come through and share these things with you. So it's been an absolute honor to get to share this and do this for you. I know that this type of part in healing is uncomfortable and very not fun. So I want you to know that I sympathize for you and I send you so much unconditional love. Know that you will be in my thoughts tonight. I will definitely light some incense in honor of this journey that you're experiencing. Sending you so much unconditional love. Have a beautiful rest of your day. You stay strong, okay? You can do it. Bye. Hi, pile number 4. This is Ahimsa here, and if you chose this card, Mars Force, as your significator card to help you select the pile to hear what is your biggest lesson in this current phase in your life, then this is the right reading for you, my love. The way that we're going to do this is a little bit different compared to the other pick a card readings that I've done so far in the past. And the reason why I say that is because if you haven't noticed, I actually have my karma cards out to the side, and we actually have them set up in 3 different categories, which is planets, signs, and houses. We'll see what happens. I'm going to let Source kind of take the lead here in your reading today to see what your biggest lesson is in this current phase of your life, so you can learn and hear everything you need to know at this time. With that being said, let us get into this. We're just going to take these cards out. So what we do is we start with planets first, signs, and then houses. And let us see. What is pile number 4's biggest lesson in this current phase in their life? Okay, I see we have one card coming out right here. What is pile number 4's biggest lesson in this current phase of their life that they are meant to overcome? This one wanted to shoot out, so I'm going to take it. And then what is pile number 4's biggest lesson in this current phase of their life that they are meant to overcome? All right, and we got the final one here. So let us start looking at these cards first before we actually dive in to the rest of your oracle cards here, all right? So with the planet card, we have Mars. Let us see if it shows, most of these cards are going to show up with the outcome facing upwards or the action answer facing upwards, and that's going to help me determine which side we need to look at the most, okay? But so far we have Mars, and if you guys can't tell, the way to read this, I'm waiting for it to focus, the S at that first row stands for spiritual, M stands for mental, and P stands for physical, all right? So just keep that in mind. For the next card, we have red, so it's facing action-based. We have in Gemini, so Mars in Gemini so far, and what I just realized is crazy. You have Mars, your significator card, and Mars being the planet of the karma card that came out. Guys, what are you struggling with in terms of taking action towards? Or a challenge, some sort of tension, something, challenge, conflict. There's something here, and the number 5 is your part of your significator card, so there is something huge happening. Okay, let's continue. I'll keep my mouth shut, and we have blue coming up again for outcomes. So now I know I'm just going to turn this around, and we are looking at the outcome answer in the karma cards, and we have Mars in Gemini in the 8th house. All right, so when we put all these cards together, we have Mars and Gemini in the 8th house. For the spiritual row, in terms of outcome, what you're learning, the lesson that you're learning in this current phase of your life, the drive for information to explain personal power. So are you learning how to reignite that inner fire in you right now? Let's continue. The confronting of communications about the mysteries of life. The confronting of communications about the mysteries of life. Are you doing some internal digging right now to figure out how to light up that inner spark? And then physical outcome action resulting from the fluctuations of a major change. There is something huge that happened. Is this current phase of your life challenging you to come out of your box, to step out of your comfort zone in some way, shape, or form, to transform, to align with your higher self, to step into your true power, but it's hard? Is that what's going on? As the 8th house has a lot to do with the energies of the unknown and the darker sides of us, the deeper underworld energies of who we are. And this part of your phase, of this current phase that you're going through right now, pile number 4 in your life, has a lot to do with teaching you how to gather up that inner fire, that inner courage to take action, to go forward or strive for what you want right now in this current phase, or to do something about it. Something happened that turned your whole world upside down, basically. Most likely, at least it's how I'm interpreting it so far, at least that's what I'm seeing before we look into the rest of your cards. And it's showing me that you're being called to learn how to kind of be proactive about it and take that power into your own hands and do something about it. But let's look at the rest of your cards. I'm going to place your significator card up here so we have space, and we're going to slide these karma cards up. And for your oracle cards, you have actually 3 chakra cards. You have perception ruled by the heart chakra. I already love where this is going, and I feel like I already have an idea on where this is leading me to. Next up, we have impasse. Yes, something definitely just came in your way out of nowhere, and you are being called to do something about it, or something like that is what I'm really feeling right now so far. I know that it's so specific, pile number 4, you know, so just bear with me because there's always going to be more channel messages coming through in the reading, but I'm just kind of sharing what I see so far as I go along. And lastly, with your chakra cards, you have faith ruled by the 3rd eye chakra. Okay, I think you're really learning, honestly. I just keep seeing all these cards revolving around learning where your real power lies so that you can take the right steps forward. Because I feel like the only way this can change, the circumstances in this current phase at which you are in your life can change fully, is by you doing something about it. That's what keeps coming through. So I'm just going to stick with that so far until something shows me otherwise. With your 2 Sacred Destiny cards in your oracles, you have flexibility. Wow. Okay. So it feels like an impasse what you're experiencing right now because there's a lack of flexibility. That's what I'm seeing, because there is so many different ways to take action, to go get it done. But it's scary because maybe you've always felt like you had to do things or lone wolf things in the past, always do things for yourself. And so maybe you're afraid that the source, universe, doesn't got your back while you do this and go make it happen. And last but not least, for your oracle cards, we have new beginnings. Wow. This is a new beginning. This is a new time for you to challenge yourself. Oh my God, this current phase of your life, the lesson, it's showing you that you can do it. You can do it, my love. Pile number 4, you can do it. There is a completely new beginning for you, but it's only if you take it. I really just feel like that's the simplest thing I'm seeing here right now. And in terms of the biggest lesson, you're learning that you do have what it takes, but it's only if you are willing to be more open-minded in order for that process to really commence and unravel itself for you. Let us grab your tarot cards though to get more information, because so far from what I'm looking, when I look at your oracle cards, it's kind of straight to the point, but I know that you guys want more details than this. So let us definitely check out your tarot cards. So what is pile number 4's biggest lesson in this current phase of their life? What is pile 4's? Okay. I'm going to pause here before I pull out the rest of the cards, but I just want to share, this is the first pile out of all the piles that I've done in this pick a card that the cards did not fall out and show me the significator cards on themselves. Source did not willingly allow it. So you are being a little bit too rigid in control, trying to control every little thing around you, and it's creating a sense of instability inside yourself because you're starting to realize that, yeah, you can't really control everything. So you're starting to feel like there's even more lack of control, and maybe you're feeling like you're living from a place of survival than from a place of faith, a place of trusting, a place of having hope, being more open, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe you're too focused trying to battle whatever's inside that tunnel that's going to help you get there, when in reality you're supposed to actually face it head on and find different strategies around it, but you're not taking those necessary steps forward because you're forgetting how control you actually are. Oh, that was a mouthful, but I hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying, because that's the lesson here. The lesson here is about changing your perspective on the cards that are being dealt in front of you in this current phase at which you're experiencing at your life right now. That is going to help you, give you the golden ticket to help you overcome this obstacle that you're experiencing, because this obstacle has a lot to do with you versus you. You are your own biggest obstacle right now, pile number 4. Nothing else around you is. And it's only until you realize that will you be able to start realizing that you actually have a lot of different ways to overcome or go around this impasse as you see fit. And that's where your new beginning lies, once you realize that you actually hold the key to be able to make this all happen for yourself. But you need to trust more, and that is going to take some time. But I also feel like in the snap of your fingers, once you start doing this, it will start working out and it will start making sense. But it's only until you start letting it, if that makes sense as well. But let us continue. This is the first deck, or the first pile that's making me feel super like uppity and like ee, because I just came back from pile number 3 and their reading was very, very heavy. But you know, it's nice to see that. I don't know if you guys have a very cheerful energy naturally about you. You got an extra pep in your step. I don't know if you're known to be more of the, not dramatic, but more of an outspoken person. I don't know if you're an Aries or an air sign or a fire sign, but there's this energy of like power, but you're also very shy. You don't really show this uppity side of yourself to a lot of people. But this current phase that you're going through in your life is teaching you how to be able to be comfortable shining bright. And shining bright means like, Okay, this is so weird, but I'm hearing that you might be naturally like pretty good at things. Like you can get a handle on things or get a hang on how to do something if you just try to learn it once. Or maybe that's like with certain things that you wouldn't think to be good at, and then you're like, oh my God, I actually can do this. And it surprises you. Like I am hearing that you have like the tools to help yourself get out of whatever you're experiencing right now. For some of you, this might not even be like a bad upheaval, but something that kind of is challenging you to kind of grab life by the rein and make something happen for yourself. Because that's another thing that's coming through. Like you're just being challenged to be bigger or think bigger or do bigger, if that makes sense. So let's keep that in mind moving forward. So we got all your tarot cards out. And with the back of the deck, we have the 10 of Wands. Okay, wow. Pile number 4, are you feeling exhausted and overburdened? Because I see you have a lot of things on your shoulders right now that you're carrying. You might be carrying a lot of things for others, or maybe you have in the past, and this time you're learning, especially in this phase of your life, how to take your power back so that you can embody or create this new beginning for yourself. I'm very curious to see where this takes us. This feels like your significator card, so we're gonna read it as such. We have the 8 of Cups. Oh my God, yes, new beginning all the way. Some of you, actually, pile number 4 might be deciding or have left a relationship or left some sort of thing in your past. You left it out, you're done with it, goodbye, and you're starting anew. But the anew is scary. And maybe you're overthinking it like crazy, this phase in your life, so you're not really sure where to start. There's a lot of overwhelming energy here. You know you can do it, but it's a matter of, can I really do it? Like, I feel like you keep second guessing your power. And the lesson here is to learn that you are the power. You got, I keep hearing that song where it's like, I got the power. As funny, as weird as that sound, that made me I cringed hearing myself sing that just now. All right, so let us take a look to see what your guides have to say. I don't normally lay out the cards before I flip them up, but I guess Source wanted me to do that today, so that's what I'm gonna do. And then we have 8 more cards. Let us take a look at your first row, and then we'll kind of put these cards out to the side, and then we'll look at them when we're ready to look at them. With the very first row we have here, I have a feeling that this row is going to give us an understanding of the lesson and what you're experiencing right now. And then this will be the second row that will help us figure out how to kind of apply that lesson into your life. So with the very first card, we have the Knight of Cups. Following your dreams. Secondly, we have the Lovers. And making a huge life choice that is going to determine where your life takes you. That is huge. Next up, we have the 3 of Cups. Some of you guys might be trying to decide if you want to be with this a certain person or not as well. Or there may have been a person in your life and that person you had to leave and you're trying to figure out what they taught you. That's just a little side note. Keep that in mind. And for some, that might resonate. For others, it may not. Next up, you have the 3 of Wands. You have the King of Swords. We have the World card. I was picturing this card in my head. I had a feeling it was going to pop up in your reading, the World card. There's a full circle moment happening here. You are learning something huge. You have the Herald of Swords, which is also what's known as the Page of Swords. And if you can't tell, I have to cover this card up because of the nudity in the card, and YouTube doesn't like it. So let me just cover that up really quick. And then lastly, for this first row, we have the Devil. Okay, so pile number 4. Interestingly enough, I don't feel like this devil is a bad devil. energetically, I feel like this devil is showing you who's the boss. Like you're learning how to, this is, I feel like this reading is going to take some time, but what I'm feeling here for you guys, right, as of right now, pile number 4, I don't know if you were a person who was very passive in your past. Somebody who was kind of just letting the cards be dealt, just deal with the cards you have dealt in front of you in life and just kind of be like, okay, and I'll work through it, I got it, and just keep going on your merry way. Or maybe you were a little bit of too much of a giver or too much of a passive, I don't know, there's something about a passiveness to this energy of the past. Like, I don't know if that's how you were. Regardless of that though, you're learning how to take control back over your life in a way where you're like, I am the boss. Like I am, excuse my language, bad bitch, bad bitch energy, boss energy. There's this energy of just somebody who's learning how to take life by the reins and just go full throttle into what they love doing with this Knight of Cups here. And the fact that we have it next to the Lovers, it's about making the decision to want to do that for you, and regardless of what anyone else thinks. And learning how to do it in a way where you don't back down no matter how hard it might get. Because this phase of your life is bringing forward a very new beginning for you, but it's only if you take the opportunity to go make it happen for yourself. Because there's a big dreamy like energy here, pile number 4. But dreams are dreams, right? The only way dreams can actually become something tangible is if we take action for them. And the first step towards anything, and especially when it comes to the first step before you even take action to something, is writing it down or brainstorming or coming up with an idea, a plan on how to get there. And I am even hearing like that's something that you are definitely being guided to do. Making sure that your head is on right when you start this journeying for yourself in this current phase of your life, because the lesson here is to do it smart and to do it where you can depend on yourself and count on yourself to be your number one leader. And you don't need to passively follow others. And especially in this new phase in your life, you're being called to learn how to be your own leader and have faith in yourself to know what's right for you. Maybe you used to let others make decisions for you in the past, or it was hard for you to kind of trust your own inner knowing. But the biggest lesson here is learning how to have faith in yourself to know what's best for you. And with the flexibility card too that keeps coming through, there's this energy of like, and Gemini, I just realized you have the Mars and Gemini with the Geminis are adaptable signs, and the Lovers card is ruled by Gemini. So there's a lot of energy here about learning how to be able to be versatile and how you are a leader in your own life and how you show up as a leader in your own life. There needs to be a way to be adaptable to how things can just come out of nowhere and throw us off guard. You need to learn how to like pick yourself back up if you get thrown off and just keep moving forward, because that's where the new beginning lies. And with the Ten of Wands though, I want to understand what is going on with this Ten of Wands. Because I do feel like maybe there's a lot of, I don't know, it feels like you're doing it onto yourself. Like this Ten of Wands energy is pretty heavy, especially the imagery that it uses to depict the energy of the Ten of Wands in this deck in particular. But it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like the Ten of Wands energy was done onto you. It felt like it was done by yourself, onto yourself. You have very high expectations of yourself. And because you have such high expectations of yourself, it makes it hard for you to like have enough wiggle room to be able to actually do like the transformation process that is required in order for you to be able to have this new beginning. And so the lesson is learning how to have the faith in yourself to trust. You'll know when it's happening. You'll know the next steps to take. It's just showing yourself that you know the right steps and like being proactive. Like I said, I'm hearing making a list or like writing things down or journaling it out, like planning. Something about strategizing, being like, you're really smart, pile number 4, but you're not using the skills that were given to you in this lifetime to be able to get through this phase in your life. Like, take advantage of the things you know you're good at. Ask yourself, what am I good at and what can I take advantage of right now? Because you really want this, I can tell, but it's still kind of new. There's a newness here, especially with the World card. So there definitely was some sort of ending, or there's about to be in your life, that it kind of created this phase to take place in the first place. And you need to be willing to have your own back and not rely on others, especially in this phase. And even as it might be somewhat scary, the scariness that you're feeling means that you're growing along with it. Like, that means that you're stepping out of your comfort zone. Wherever there's fear in your life, and it could be triggering, that's how you know that you're taking little steps out of your comfort zone, because it's scary. Does that make sense? If it's not scary, that means you're comfortable. If it is scary, that means you're growing. This is a good sign, pile number 4. So just keep that in mind moving forward. And perception, I feel like with the devil too, it is about changing your perspective and seeing this as a new beginning. Maybe even some of you guys might have lost your jobs. Maybe you were fired, or maybe someone broke up with you. I don't know, maybe something was done unto you that you weren't expecting. Or you lost your car. Something to do with like, oh, what? I've been so good all my life. I don't understand why this happened to me. And your guides are showing to you through this experience, through this phase, that there's the lesson here that you can fix it. You can make it better. But it's only if you believe in yourself and you trust that this is setting up a brand new beginning for you. You got to show the world how bad you want to be that, or do that for yourself. Again, pile number 4, please take what resonates in this reading and leave what doesn't, because I feel like so far what I've been interpreting has been like all over the place, and this is the first reading that I've done, and this video today that has been just like all sporadic. So, you know, I don't know, maybe a lot of people pick this pile and I'm just trying to channel. I'm channeling as much as I can for everybody, but just keep that in mind as I move forward, because we are definitely going to look into your last row for this reading. Okay, pile number 4, let's look into the last row of your cards. So you have the 9 of Pentacles. Wow. This completely wraps this up, and it confirms to me exactly what we've been talking about so far in your reading. You are learning, this lesson is teaching you that you are capable of attaining everything you want in life. Pile number 4. It's only if you believe in it though, and have enough faith to go and make it happen for yourself. And I know you might have a lot on your plate right now. That's another thing that a channeling, so this might resonate with some people listening, not to everybody, but I know you might have a lot on your plate right now, pile number 4, that it might even feel like, am I really capable of doing all of this and that? You are. I'm hearing some of you guys might even be a parent of a child of some kind, and you're like, can I really do all of this? Can I really juggle? Yes, you can. Pile number 4, that's why you're feeling the call to go and make it happen. And you're gathering up the fire with this 8th house energy, with 2 of these Mars, emphasizing taking action. Just go do it. It's lighting you up. It's setting you up for success here. Next up, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Oh my God. Yes, a brand new beginning. Aces are about new beginnings, and I've been waiting for an ace card with this reading, this pile so far for you, and I'm so happy. It's the Lovers, and directly right underneath the Lovers card, pile number 4, you are being called to make this decision to go start this up for yourself, to believe that you have what it takes, because you do, but it's only if you do believe in it. And with the Queen of Swords, having the mental fortitude. I don't know, okay, now another thing's coming through. Maybe you guys have always been passive and a giver of some kind in your past, and you're learning how to be able to balance what you want for yourself versus what others want, and choosing more to go towards what do I want in life. And that's beautiful. This is where the new beginning is in your life. Like, you're learning how to say, what do I really want? Not what others want for me, or what others just want, period. Like, you're kind of walking away from being the giver, or the over giver, or the people pleaser. You are so good at being everything for everyone around you. You're everything what everybody wants, is what I'm hearing. But you don't notice that, or at least you have never shown that to yourself. You've never been able to
give everything to yourself in the way that you do for others. And this whole experience that you're having right now, this current phase of your life, the lesson here is showing you that you actually can give yourself everything, but it's only if you believe in it. And that's what's going to help get rid of this internal blockage that you might be experiencing. This can even feel like an internal blockage that you're experiencing. This doesn't need to be like a physical blockage that you are experiencing. It could even be an emotional or a spiritual one at that. One that isn't seeable to the actual eye. Next up, we have the Eight of Pentacles. Yes. We have the Tower card. The Wheel of Fortune. Oh my God, that was another card I was waiting for. And the fact that it falls directly underneath the World card. Oh my God, pile number 4. You have a destiny energy written in your reading, at least in this current phase of your life, where you're learning to have a huge turning point so that you can create something huge for yourself. But it's only if you change your perspective. It's only if you learn how to love yourself so hard in the way that you love others. And that's what's really going to help you make this decision. And that's what's going to be the thing that's going to help kind of be the biggest motivator to help you accomplish all your goals that you have in life. Because you can become self-sufficient. You can learn how to be that for yourself. That passive energy is of the past. And setting boundaries with others is going to be one of those steps that are definitely going to help you. I see that when it comes to applying this lesson. I am hearing from Source that you are being called to set more boundaries in your life, because that's what's going to help you have more time for yourself to be able to go accomplish the things you want, so that your destiny can start changing. And destiny is on your side here. Fate is on your side here. I just want you guys to keep that in mind. Like, your guides believe in you 100%. You have the Five of Pentacles. And you have the Six of Cups. Yes. Okay. You were too much of a giver. Maybe you were codependent in the past. People took up too much of your time and energy. I don't know if you had like a bunch of energy vampires around you, people that just kind of sucked your vitality right out of you and kind of took advantage of your big heart. And you love helping people, or like love being of service in some way, shape, or form, that you didn't realize what it was doing to you until it was too late. But it was hard, it's still hard to say no, or you're learning how to say no now. There's something here where you're learning how to do it, but you're still at the beginning stages. And you're definitely learning how to start putting your foot down 100%, so that you can go accomplish at what you want. And that's where the lesson lies. The lesson here is learning how to say no, learning how to choose you, and shifting your perspective so that you can go out and accomplish what you want as well. And then with the last two cards, I feel as if these two things are like the ultimate energy of everything combined. So we're gonna see it as such. We have, oh my God, pile number 4, the Six of Wands. You are destined for success in whatever this worry of whether or not it's gonna happen. You are destined for the success. Pile number 4. Holy moly. Pile number 4. You have everything you need inside of you right now to go get it. The lesson here lies within you realizing that, changing your perspective on the situation so that you can go and accomplish it. And lastly, we have the Star. Oh my God. You are healing that which was once broken or lost. You are realizing how powerful you really are. When I see the Star card next to the Six of Wands, with all this other energy with the 8th house, you are learning how much of a force you really are in life. I don't know if someone has completely hurt you that like you've done so much for in the past. This could be another, this is a very specific channel message, so take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. But you've just been given so much BS in the past by others that like you're learning that, okay, like if no one can give it to me, I'm learning how to do it for myself. You're just realizing how powerful you really are. Honestly, that's really it.
Pile number 4, this lesson is showing you how powerful you really are, how capable you really are. You can take charge. You can fight if you want to. And I don't know if this makes sense, but I do feel like, I don't know if this has to do with your natal chart and astrology, but there's just essence of like you're able to balance both sun energy with moon energy, or yin and yang, or feminine and masculine. Like you're able to channel those energies very well, and not a lot of people have that ability. And if like, I'm just hearing like from source, if you really wanted this, you would stop at nothing to get it. Just like you stop at nothing for those you love, you should be stopping at nothing for yourself to go get what you're seeking. I think that this huge phase in your life is teaching you that you can do that for yourself, but it's about being flexible and finding different ways around it and having the faith to know that you're gonna get there. But you gotta believe in yourself. You do. You just gotta believe in yourself. This was such a cute little short and sweet reading, and I really hope that it resonated with you. Pile number 4, if you have any other questions, or if you have any video topics, pick a card topics you'd love me to dive into, I would love to hear what you have to say in the comment section down below. As long as it is aligned with healing and helping you become the best version of yourself, I am open to hearing what you have to say. My channel is only and all about helping you step into your power, helping you become the best version of yourself, and helping you learn how to heal and become your own facilitator for deep healing, so you can learn how to shape your inner world into exactly how you want it to be, so that your outer world can reflect the same back at you. And that's the true gift of manifesting. That's what real manifesting is all about, right? With me, I'm all about here helping you step into you and your power, your true essence. So most of the topics that you're going to notice me doing in these pick a cards are going to be all around that in general. But I really, really hope that this reading resonated with you, and I send you so much unconditional love. Remember, you are unstoppable. You are a force to be reckoned with, but you need to wake up, open up your eyes, and realize it. You're in the midst of transforming, and I see that you're kind of healing your chakras without even realizing it. Pile number 4. You've been going through learning this, though. Like, I feel like you've been in this phase in your life for a very good amount of time. This isn't something that has just been here for a couple months. This might have been here for years, but you're getting there, and I see you getting to a new beginning. I'm excited for you is what I'm trying to say. So you got this. I'm so proud of you, and you can keep going. You got it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm rooting for you. You know, I send you so much unconditional love. And definitely subscribe if you want to see more content or more information like this. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next pick a card reading I upload in the future.